hopefully you guys can hear us and we don't crack out too much on the mic. We had some issues with that last week with Evil Game, and I'm desperately sorry. I will, before I publish the full-blown video out to all of you guys, I will put out, I'll preface that with a video of me just warning you how bad the audio sounds. So it was quiet, and honestly, cabling, right? You don't think it's not usually the thing you go to first. You're usually checking all of your settings and
your butt.
But turns out that the cable was just a shitty cable. So hopefully, if any of you are there in the chat right now, you can chime in and let us know. Because I said we were going to record beforehand and just forgot.
Yeah, didn't do that.
So let us know how we sound. Looks like we should be perfectly fine as far as audio level goes. But let us know if we're cracking or creaking or peaking or anything of that nature. I didn't get a chance to go in and add compression to the mic. I'm planning to do that to add a limiter so that certain people don't peak the microphone every time they decide to speak.
I'm right here.
Yeah, I know.
You can just say my name.
Sean. It's Sean and Celine.
It's me.
But tonight it's only Sean, so it's
damn right it is.
At you. So that's out of the way. Let us know how we sound. A couple other announcements and things to get out of the way up front. One, you'll see in the bottom right now, there's 2 sponsorships down there. Not only the lovely folks at Initiative Coffee Company
Delicious
and that
coffee.
team for great coffee, but also our good friends at Elderwood Academy, which you can now see some of their lovely products placed here around the table. Quentin and Dan are super cool, and they gave us the hookup with some awesome things to showcase their products, things that I've been using behind the screen here, this clever Nerd Immersion branded one, for quite some time. And I've been a large fan of the products ever since then, and what's there in front of Sean in the green there, that is the Elderwood Academy Centurion deck box. This is still on Kickstarter. It's only been on Kickstarter for 3 days at this point. When I checked last, and I unfortunately haven't gone back to check, they were already at 5 times their initial funding goal in the first 2 days.
It's nice.
So, yeah, and that's the faux door. It comes out, and if you turn it around, the box, there's a secret compartment in the bottom.
What?
Yeah, to hold
That's
minis
awesome.
or dice or what have you.
You hold minis and dice or what have you?
There's also a Dungeons & Dragons insert that goes inside that I don't have, that quarters off the inside to hold minis and has a tube to hold a set of 7 dice. It'll even fit a mini hex chest if you happen to get yourself one of those, which mine should be arriving, I think, tomorrow. So.
It's just good, solid craftsmanship.
Yeah, and you can customize, that's pretty normal, the different wood types. You can customize the symbol on the front, change the leather and the foil color and all that good stuff. So that is really cool. Thank you to Quentin and Dan and the team at Elderwood Academy.
Yes, thank you guys so much.
A couple other announcements. We talked about, we're pretty much fully implemented, but we'll consider it rolled out for the purposes of this. The change to, I need to change the signage below the screen here on the Twitch channel. Or I guess on YouTube. I have to figure out how I can alter that for those of you who watch live on YouTube. But we have implemented our new donation system. So now you guys do not donate to grant players advantage on things. You donate to grant them a charge or something that is a currency that... it doesn't... We'll see. It doesn't... It doesn't... Problem is it doesn't really... When you say, like, oh, I'm going to spend a T-bone to give advantage, it doesn't sound right.
What do you mean?
It just doesn't sound right.
Well, I can't figure out a different way to get Theron into the name.
Well, you can't... Maybe it's just a world for Flint.
That's a better point than mine. Let's talk about Flint some more.
Anyway, so... You basically donate to grant the players charges, which they can use to burn for advantage. So 1 charge is equal to 1 advantage, which can be used after the roll or before the roll, whatever the case is. But it functions as advantage in the game, so anybody's abilities that trigger off of advantage-related things, it functions in that way. But as a trade-off for that, they can save up 10, and if they have 10 charges stored away, it'll allow them to access their ultimate ability, that name may change too. But everybody has a unique ability that they can use when 10 charges are spent.
Thought we could call it their T-bones.
No.
They could use their T-bone.
No.
No?
No.
Well, I tried, Jake.
So that is happening, but you can see in the top right, and I'm going to change the donations, and the bars are going to be adjusted, and I have to figure out what's the best way to do that. But as a trade-off for the players getting things positively, there's no way to grant things to the DM directly. So you can, for all the donations as they build up, they can fill this or charge or whatever that we're, again, terminology is being tweaked, this reliquary, which will then, once it's filled, then the DM will then roll a die on a series of tables, and then something will happen in the game. Could be weird, could be good, bad, or neutral. Things will happen, and it will affect the course of the game. And that can tip or overload or whatever it is multiple times. So it can go to 100 and it resets back to 0 and it starts again. Or if it goes over, it continues to where it was and then continues again to the next amount. And that persists between streams. So in all of the online streams for Nerd Immersion, that continues. I guess if you did want to donate directly to the DM, you could just donate money and not give it to the players and just say it's for the DM, and then it fills the bar.
Fair.
So you can see we're at $20 out of 100 right now. So once that hits full percentage, something's going to happen. So I just wanted to clarify that because there's some changes, and also the layout here in the room with the single camera. It works very well in this setup, but we are going to go back to our traditional 3 camera, or maybe even more than that camera in the future, but it's just logistics of getting things set up and monitoring where they need to go, so this will work till we get there. And it's a little throwback to the way we used to do things back in the old house in the dining room. Okay, that's enough of that. So, do you guys remember what happened last time?
I do!
Would you like to enlighten the internet and also Pat?
Well, first we fought a great white shark, spelled W-I-G-H-T. So it was an undead shark. And he had I like what you did with the D20s, Pat, that's nice. He was being ridden by a Sahuagin cleric.
Mm-hmm.
Sahuagin cleric, and summoned some other little baby sharks that I killed with sleep. So we fought him, and they did.
Sahuagin?
Thanks, Pat. So we fought that and did some damage to the ship, which we repaired belatedly, but we got there. Continued on our journey. And then got attacked. What? Did anything happen in between battle and battle?
You guys met Barry.
Oh yeah, we met Barry! The barrel golem.
Yes.
He's great.
Dick Fairley's barrel golem, or keg golem named Barry.
Yeah. And then we were running away from something that we thought was a pirate ship, and that's where we are.
Okay, so yeah, the party was being pursued by an opposing ship that, over the course of a day, maybe 2, I forget exactly, had gained on you to the point of now running alongside for a seeming pursuing battle. And we described the characters on said ship as one of them was elderly, with sort of a turban and a Fu Manchu, in some sort of wizardly type robes with a staff that sort of had a snake motif to it. And then I think I said there was 2 or 3 others on the ship that were also wearing kind of robe-like garments, but they were bald-headed, gray-skinned, and they sort of looked like the gentleman from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Voldemort-ish, I guess. Still full nose, not as much snake motifs, but definitely off-putting and unsettling. Bald, gray heads, kind of deep-set, kind of pinkish, like permanently bloodshot red eyes.
Gross.
They do have shields, and they do have short swords, but they kind of look, they're sort of jagged and serrated and kind of nasty looking.
Ew.
And they pull up alongside the boat, and you can see, actually, you guys can make me insight checks.
Alright. $10.
25.
Alright. So, yeah, they don't look, you look at these folks, and you very very quickly realize, was what I was trying to say, that there is no, this isn't like a, oh hey, how you guys doing? We just needed some sugar. Like, these guys are here to, they're here to mess you up.
They don't seem too friendly. Just a heads up.
I mean, neither do we.
True.
And, ooh, that sounds interesting. Let's look that up.
Sure, yeah. Let's do that.
Hey, Dick Fairley, you want to go get the barrel, bud? Is he on board? On deck? The barrel?
Yeah, Barry is about.
Wait, we also like set up for this because we knew it was happening. Like,
Yeah.
we all took positions.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, I was under the. Oh, I was scaling the ship.
Yeah.
I had already. I was climbing the ship when
Yeah.
we were. Yeah. So I wouldn't have been able to.
And I was behind some stuff. I don't remember what Rick and Barina were up to, but again, that's not my job to remember.
No.
I remember it triggered because I was hiding behind some barrels, and then someone was like, "Can Barry help?" And then one of them got up and moved, and I was like, "Yeah!" And I had to hide behind something else.
So, knowing this, that they're not friendly.
Mm. Well, you don't know that now, because you're underwater.
Well, I was scaling the back of the ship, I believe. I was peering over.
No.
And so I'm gonna climb the back of the ship.
Okay, I will need you to make athletics checks, because you don't have any means of, this is a ship, it's not exactly handholds.
Okay. So that's an 8.5 down there. That's gonna be a 21, 25.
Okay, so you are making your way up the side of the ship, about halfway up, as the ship kind of bobbing on the waves, but keeping position next to you. You're in the crow's nest, so you clearly don't get any idea of what. Did you go up to the crow's nest?
No, I was hiding behind barrels.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to fall out of the crow's nest.
That's right.
Celine might have went up. I mean, Brina might have been up in the crow's nest. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either. That's what happens when people just decide they're not going to show up.
She's sick.
I guess. We'll see. Well, she also said she might.
We'll see.
Well, she also said she might show up. In that same message.
Did she? I didn't.
She's like, I might show up though. If,
Oh yeah. At this point, no.
Who knows? She might show up.
I know
anyway.
she's not showing.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you never know.
No, I know. I just said I know.
But yeah, but maybe. So. So you watch as the ship pulls up alongside you. The turbaned figure's hands begin to wave and move about as though in the throes of spellcasting. And I would like everybody to roll for initiative.
Six.
What do you got?
19.
Okay. So this guy, he's got 11. These guys. Alright, now comes the fun part of the two character sheets we don't have.
I think it's a 5 and a 0.
For Rick? Yeah.
I think Rick has 0 and Brian has 5.
Yes, that's true. Okay. So, So, first up are the Voldemort-looking gentlemen. And they will board the ship. They will jump aboard, or they'll attempt to jump. Because it's not like right up next to you, but it's within... People with a decent enough strength could probably make this jump. So one of them, so two of them just leap, and they land down with a decent amount of dexterity, you would say. And one of them catches his foot on the deck and just face plants into the side of the boat and then into the waves. So the other two use all their movement to get across. And you're hiding behind barrels. And Brickon was somewhere, and Rick was
Also somewhere.
Where do we think? Rick probably not hiding.
Probably not.
Alright.
Bring a 50-50.
Roll. Which 50 is it?
Up is hiding. 16.
She probably would have gotten burning hands ready for when they came across the
Nah, that doesn't sound like her.
path.
She doesn't have burning hands, eh?
Oh,
The fire.
I think I was
dragon breath. That's what it is.
facetious. So this guy, he's going to attack Rick because Rick's not hiding. So he's going to lash out with this jagged-looking short sword, and of course, get to Rick before he can rage.
Quite.
Sure, we'll keep it realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's going to make an attack roll against Rick. Oof, that's a 10. That's going to miss, and he's going to make a second attack. Ah, that's a 14. So he just, and he gets caught up amidst the spikes. The other one's going to attack Brina, who we decided, based on rolls, is not hiding. So he's going to get a 14, which will miss. And then he's going to get a 23, which will hit.
Yeah.
So then you watch as he lashes out with this jagged blade of his. It erupts in an energy. It's a strange sight because it's a dark, like almost black energy, but it also seems to be blinding at the same time, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So she's gonna take some damage. So I'll just have you just mark it down.
Sure.
We'll I think she has, I don't have her character card set up, but it's like 80 something HP.
80?
Yeah.
I have 65.
Oh shit! I think she took tough.
Oh.
Did she take tough?
I think she took tough.
Okay.
Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it's not that high. Oh, we'll find out.
You might be thinking of Jake's.
Maybe?
Jake's might be.
Probably. Alright, so
Alright.
anyway, so she's gonna take D6, so that's 5 points of piercing damage. And then she'll take 10 points of necrotic damage.
Okay.
And then 20 points of radiant damage.
Okay.
And she needs to make a constitution saving throw,
Holy crap.
which she'll make with a natural 20.
Alright.
And she's
Good on
not,
her.
she's not blinded by the effect of this powerful blow. Then it is Breen's turn.
Oh. Cool.
So she's gonna punch this guy. She's gonna activate her things first as a bonus action. Then she's gonna strike out at this guy. Oof. Do you want to roll for her? Or does somebody else want to roll for her, or should I?
You can do it.
All right.
Or unless you want to, roll for Rick and I'll roll for Brina.
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
So go ahead. So she's got. So these. She's got. What's your proficiency bonus? Is a 3.
Yeah.
So she's got 5 to attack and the plus, and it's a +1 gloves. So
Yeah.
6
So-
plus, this is at 9 to attack.
Yeah.
So, plus 9 to attack.
12.
That's gonna miss.
25.
That's gonna hit. So this will do a D6
and a D8.
I think so. We'll say that.
12 would be plus 6, so 18.
18 points of damage as she strikes out at this gentleman and his weird face.
Alright, that's our whole turn.
Yes, it is. Then it is Oz's turn.
Alright, I'm gonna pop out from behind my barrel, send the owl in to the wizard.
Buffy.
Good cow!
Yep.
And I'm going to attempt to shoot the wizard with my crossbow.
Okay, let's see it.
I believe in you guys. 20? Wait. I'm gonna spend a lucky point. Alright. 26.
26 will hit.
Alright. Trying to get that crit.
No, I was, he is vaguely magic-y, so I was thinking he might have shield. So I decided to bump it up before I heard whether or not I passed or not.
Yeah.
So that's 3d6 and d8. Yeah, buddy! 10, 15, 23, 28.
28 points of damage. Alright, so he gets hit with this, and it does he is momentarily faltered, but still standing.
Alright, then I'm going to duck back behind the barrels and scoot along the barrel so I'm not in the place where I ducked down behind the barrel.
Is he still casting his magic? Is he able to hold his focus?
Yeah, because that's not how that works. Because if he was concentrating, he would have just released it. Or something would have happened.
So that was my turn. I mean, bonus action hide, but I'm already like behind cover, so I don't know if it'll do anything.
Okay. Rick.
Okay, so I'm gonna rage and then
Very good.
take out the greatest sword.
Titan Blade.
Titan Blade. I'm gonna attack.
Okay, you're attacking.
One of the guys with the shields.
Okay. The guy that. Okay. The guy that missed him. That's right next to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rick's got a plus.
He's got a 18 strength. No, he's got 20 strength. 20 strength and so plus 8 to hit.
So 26.
That is, yeah.
Alright, and then that's a d12, right?
The greatest
2d6.
2d6
Oh,
plus 7
Yeah.
plus 2 because you're raging.
Yeah.
Alright.
2d6 plus 9.
Alright, so that is 16 points of damage.
Okay. 16 points. Right, that's one attack.
And I'm not doing it. And that's a 27.
That's all gonna hit.
And that is plus 9, that's 19 points of damage.
Yeah, Rick.
Alright. So, this guy, he does not seem happy that you're cleaving into him, but he's okay though. He doesn't look like he's hurt too bad. Then it's Barry's turn.
Yay,
Do you want to do anything else?
I don't think he has
You
any
can
bonus
move,
actions, so-
but yeah, that's about it. Okay.
Oh, you rage as bonus action.
Oh, that's right. So Barry, where are you at, Barry?
Oh, Barry.
There's Barry. So Barry is going to, for the one that is attacking, we'll say Rick. He moves 15 feet forward and then he kind of curls up into like a keg and he rolls forward into this thing. And he's going to make a slam attack. The natural 20.
Oh yeah, Barry.
So Barry's gonna deal to the guy that's fighting Rick 10 points of bludgeoning damage. And then that guy, as he's impacted with this rolling charge, needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
As Barry rolls into him and say, "Ha! Lucky I didn't do that."
Oh, so Rick.
And he succeeds, so he's not knocked prone. So that's Barry's full turn. Then it is the spellcaster's turn. So he looks and surveys the scene. What can he do? That'll be interesting. Oh.
Yes, Tim.
Okay.
Oh.
So you watch as he curls into mist and then appears on the deck amidst the majority of you, positioning himself in such a way that he is nearby, within 20 feet of Brina, Wave, and Rick. Oh, not Wave, you're on the other side. Okay, Brina and Rick then. Because he doesn't know where you are. So, I need both of them to... You watch as he kind of like reaches out with his like gnarled hands and his longer fingernails, and he just kind of makes like a motion like this. And I want you both to make me Constitution saving throws.
I got an 18 on the roll.
She's got a 14 on the roll.
And
Does she have?
she does.
She does, but 14 on the roll. I'm gonna stick with that.
Okay. So she's got a what? Plus
2, 3.
probably. We really should. Oh, I think I might have it. Hang on. Let's find out. Did I post it in here?
I feel like I have to go into more of a rage.
She has a plus
I
3.
like it. So 17 for her.
So it's 51 HP.
Okay.
And she's getting an 18 AC.
Oh, she's hurting.
Yeah. And so they both pass their saving throws. But you watch as, or they watch, and maybe you do, see as, even though they managed to stave off a portion of it, their blood begins to be pulled from the pores into this guy. So, 3 and 12, 13, 24, 30, 39 is the total damage. So that's cut in half to, what is that? 19?
19.
So they both take 19 points of necrotic damage. And you watch as as the blood is pulled into him, he begins to heal from the blood that he has
Son of a
absorbed.
bitch! Went through all the trouble of shooting him.
Okay, that is his turn, and then it is Wave's turn.
Alright, so I'm gonna climb to the top of the deck.
Okay.
I can finish that, and then cast Guiding Bolt on the wizard.
Okay.
Alright. For 19.
That is.
16 points of damage.
Nice. Alright. So, and he is currently illuminated by a glowing, guiding bolt light. And then it goes back around to the 2 dudes, or the 3 dudes, 2 dudes because there's only 2 on the deck, with the Voldemorts. Draculas. And they will, let's see, what are they going to do? Okay, so they're kind of engaged with Rick and Brina. So the one engaged with Rick will attempt to lash out at Rick, and you watch before he does that. There's a minor conjuring of some kind of spell-like magic. And does this one do? Yeah, why not? Oh, that's dumb. Don't do that.
Kind of like my wife, you know, the way she lashes out with her magic.
I don't get that.
So you watch instead as he casts a. Nope, that's an action. No. Action to cast it, yes. So he's going to attack Rick with a 15, and it's going to miss. And a 8, so that's going to miss.
I'm starting to think that maybe Rick shouldn't attack recklessly all the time.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Don't, yeah, but you hit twice and you've been missed so far, so.
He's always getting hit.
He's always getting hit.
Wrecked.
Yeah, so maybe.
So then.
When next week we'll explain to Jake how to play his character better. Pat took over, and this is what he did, and it worked real well. So.
Also, if anybody has chimed, it looks like there may be some people watching. How's our audio? Is it good? Let us know, please, in the comments. Or in the chat, rather. Not in the comments. This isn't on YouTube yet. So that is a 24 to hit Brina.
Yeah. Does it do more than 2?
Yep.
Then she's unconscious.
Oh no.
Okay.
I forgot to attack for Tad Cooper last time.
You did.
TC. I don't know. So.
Yeah, let's see here.
It does D4 plus 2?
No, it does more than that, I think.
D6?
Maybe T6.
Yeah. Let's see, does this guy do anything interesting when people go unconscious? No, he does not when they go unconscious. So then he's gonna move over to Rick. Because this brain is unconscious. It's gonna get a 15. Brina, death save.
She's gonna use a lucky point.
Is that a natural 1?
That is. That's what that is. 17.
Right.
Remember when I was playing as Dana's character and she got petrified and died
Yeah.
in 3-5?
I
I
remember.
don't want that to happen again.
Yeah.
That's bad karma.
Yeah.
I don't need that on me.
Alright, so she passes.
She passes.
Oz, it's your turn.
Look at her go. How far away is the spellcaster from my hiding spot?
At least 21 feet, because you didn't have to make the
21
save.
feet. Cool. Then I am going to do a cool flip over the barrel.
Maybe an acrobatics check.
Lucky point. 24.
It is a very cool flip.
And then I'm gonna run up to him and bully blade.
Okay.
Cool. 26.
Yeah, it is.
Not bad.
As you booming blade the mage.
Alright. 12, 17, 19 plus 6, 25.
Okay.
So I am going
Did
to.
you roll with advantage because he was?
I did. And then I'm going to bonus action dash, run back, hop over the thing, prompting attack of opportunity if he wants.
Okay. Let us see what he can do. As a reaction, does he have anything? So yeah, sure. He'll try it. Natural 20.
He gets me.
He does. Not for a hell of a lot. But... Oh, max damage. 11.
Woo!
Points
I'm
piercing
going
damage from his
to
dagger.
use my uncanny dodge to have that.
That's fine.
And then jump back over the barrels, get duck low, and do one of these with my remaining movement so they don't know where I am.
Alright. Rick.
I'm gonna attack with the greatest sword. Is it a bonus action to make the sword greater?
Yes, it is.
I'm gonna Make the sword bigger.
It's like he's here.
Yeah.
Ah! And plus 9, that's going to be 16.
That is yeah. It's a plus 8.
Plus 8.
Because it's not a plus 1 sword.
Oh, okay.
His is not. So it's just
No, it was a plus 9 to the damage.
plus 9 to the damage.
His to hit was less.
His to hit is a plus 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what'd you say?
That's a good question.
15?
Yeah.
Alright, that still hits.
And it's
So
plus
it's
1d6.
D6, yep.
That's a 5, 4, 10, 14, plus 9, 23. He's going to attack again, not recklessly.
Okay.
And he's going to get a 19.
Yeah.
And that is a 12. Oh, plus 9, 21.
Alright, so he cleaves this guy in half, but you watch that as he dies, his essence transfers to the other one that moved in on Rick, and it begins to heal.
God damn it!
He
Trying so hard.
He rolled shit for his heal though, so he only got some points that you don't need to know the number.
Okay.
So at the end of Rick's turn, he needs to make an athletics check. Or strength saving throw, rather.
15?
That's fine. He's able to
Oh, plus
make...
proficiency, so.
Yeah, so he's able to hold, and it's an advantage. Because he's raging. Yeah, so it's fine. He's able to hold the sword. That's the end of Rick's turn. Barry. So Barry is kind of on... This other guy moved in. So Barry's just going to punch him. Yeah, Barry's just going to punch him. No sense using his ale spray. Because, eventually you run out. So he's going to punch with an 11. He's going to miss. Alright, then it's the Spellcaster's turn. At the start of his turn, he watches his wounds begin to heal. Without any magics. It just happens naturally. And he does not get his other thing back. So, then he will begin to cast a spell. And none of those really cool things that he can do are of interest. So you watch as he pricks his hand and he begins to draw a small amount of blood. He takes some damage. And then he pulls forth from the ground about him
I don't like it.
You shouldn't. Ebony black squirming tentacles surround him and the area around him, engulfing Barry, Brina, and Rick. So these are considered, this area is considered difficult terrain. When a creature enters the affected area for the first time or starts its turn there, must succeed on a dexterity saving throw. Rick, you have advantage because you can see it. So, you have advantage on this saving throw. It's just the number. What's the number?
I rolled 15.
His DC is 15. So, you will take half damage, which is 7 points of damage. And must make succeed on dexterity saving throw or take damage. Oh, and be restrained. So he doesn't actually take any of that damage because he succeeded. Okay, that's that, and Brino automatically fails a death saving throw from being in the area.
Alright.
And she is restrained by said tentacles.
Okay.
And Barry. Barry's gonna fail. Barry is restrained by the tentacle. Barry takes 5 points. That is his turn. Then it is Wave's turn.
Wave is gonna move up as if he's going to jump over the deck. I don't know how.
It's like a 20-foot gap, we'll say. 10-foot, 15-foot gap. 15.
Okay. And then I could healing word
from 60 feet.
60 feet.
Yep.
I thought I had a scroll of it, but I can't find where I wrote it down, so I'm not gonna do that. So I'm gonna...
You can still just cast it.
Yeah. I'm gonna cast healing word on Brina.
Okay.
For 6 points.
Cool.
And I couldn't toll of the dead then.
You could.
Oh, so I'm gonna toll of the dead the mage.
Okay. So he's gonna make a wisdom saving throw.
Yep. 14.
This is a 14. So unfortunately,
Yep.
nothing happens. Now let me just check. Your modifier is a what?
4.
And your proficiency bonus is a 3,
Yes.
and it's plus 8. So that's a 15.
Oh, I didn't bump it up.
You didn't bump it up, so he fails.
That's a good check there.
Jed, you're a kind and gracious dungeon master.
So that's 2d12 damage.
Oh, that's a big
Not,
shift
you're
there.
not prepared for that.
But 16.
Ooh, nice. All right. So he does not look great, but the fact that he is bleeding doesn't seem to mind.
Alright.
Blood, and he maintains his concentration. So it's back to the other remaining guy on deck. So he is engaged with Rick and Barry.
Yeah.
So he is going to strike out at Rick again, because Rick is seemingly the largest threat at the moment.
He is the spikiest.
That's a 21, so that will hit Rick.
It's gonna take 2 points of damage. 'Cause I'm raging.
You're right, he is going to take 2 points of damage. And then Rick will take, and I'll give you the damage separately. So Rick will take
Like hell I will.
2 points, that's already rounded down, 2 points of piercing damage. And then he will take, this will be the maximum because it's not bludgeoning. So he'll take 4 points of necrotic damage, which is 4 points for him. And then he'll take 14 points of radiant damage. And I need him to make a constitution saving throw.
18 on the
Yeah,
roll.
he's fine. So that is his, like 1 attack? 2 attacks. 1 attack. And the second attack is a 23, so that will hit. So Rick will take 3 points rounded, that's already rounded down, of piercing. And he will take 7 points of necrotic. His I can actually check because I have it. Here. Will this work? No, it won't, but it will work here. He has 75 HP.
10 more than me.
Alright, then it's Brina's turn. So Brina wakes up
She does.
in the tentacles.
Gross.
Creature starts to turn in the area and is already restrained, takes damage.
Oh, has Ted Cooper been taking damage in these tentacles?
I don't know.
about Ted Cooper.
We'll say he wasn't, so he's outside of the tentacle area, so we don't have to retroactively do that.
Really?
So Brina will take 7 points of damage
She's back
from
down?
the tentacles.
At least she's not dead.
No, well, it's it's 3d6, so I could have rolled less than her hit points. Because you rolled, what did you heal her for? 6?
6.
Yeah, so she takes 7 points of necrotic damage, or bludgeoning damage rather, from the tentacles, and she goes back unconscious.
Alright.
Hey, welcome back.
Brina. Or that was her turn.
That was the beginning of
That was her
turn.
beginning of her turn, so she
Yeah.
goes unconscious. So that's it.
Yep.
For her.
Good turn.
Cool. Oz.
Oz needs to think for a second.
She doesn't have to make a death saving throw?
No, because at the
The beginning of her turn, she
Yeah.
was conscious,
Yeah.
and then she took the damage. So you make the
Oh,
death
'cause she's
saves
in
at the
the
start of your
Yeah.
turn.
Gotcha.
Alright, First, Al's gonna try and caca this guy.
I thought it wasn't a caca anymore.
Well, that was last game.
Oh.
It's a whole new world. A new fantastic point of view.
Okay, so
Right.
Caca!
It is.
it's going for which the
Mage.
mage.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try and shoot him with the crossbow.
Okay.
Come on, buddy. 15?
For the mage.
Yep.
16. You watch as it glances off of some sort of ethereal armor, as if worn by mages.
Ah, dumb. And then I am going to move to a different area behind some different stuff.
Got it.
Bonus action hide.
Make me a second.
I'm not having a good game. 16.
That's not bad.
No, but I rolled a 5.
Fair. You're high.
As far as I know.
Rick.
I'm gonna attack him.
You can make the sword bigger again.
But don't I have to make it?
The save is larger. Or the strength saving throw.
I make it after. I make the save
at
after.
the end of the turn, yeah.
I'm gonna make the sword bigger. And then I'm gonna roll a 3. Some crap.
Probably not gonna hit.
So this is a what? What's your
Was
was
it
it 12?
So, yeah.
Or 11?
12.
So that misses.
Yeah, 11. And then 14.
14 misses as
Ah.
well.
So I gotta make the.
At the strength saving throw at the end of your turn, at advantage because you're raging.
So I rolled a 4. That's better. Just 15. Plus.
15 is on the die.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's enough because I think the DC is 20 now. So you still got it.
Much, large, good, big.
Then it's Barry's turn. So Barry's going to attack
Reckless.
the guy. They're gonna miss. Then it's the mage's turn. He heals back up. Does he get his other thing back?
No, he doesn't.
He does not get that back.
No.
Oh, Rick needed to make a dexterity saving throw.
8.
Let me just see if it starts. Do you take the damage or do you? 8. He has advantage because he can see.
14.
14
What is
is
the
a
save?
15. He fails
Oh, shit.
because his dexterity is a
Zero.
11. Yeah. So when a creature ends the turn or starts their turn there, so yeah, so he's gonna take 7 points of that's already reduced bludgeoning damage, and he is restrained by the tentacles.
Gross.
Then it's the spellcaster's turn. He heals, like I said. The tentacles remain, and that's a concentration spell. So he's going to. He can see wave across the ship. Blast them in the back with magic, and he turns, and he reaches his hand out like this. And as he goes to spin, you watch as he cuts his hand and goes like that. And the blood sort of flings out into the air, and it goes up and it coalesces into this sickly green light that as the blood goes up and he brings his hand down, it sort of lands right in front of the open wound and it blasts out in a beam towards you. And I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, that's good. 22.
Okay, so you'll definitely pass. And you will take some damage. And I'll tell you what that is.
Ooh.
10, 18, 30. You'll take 15 points of necrotic damage. As you feel, which is weird for you, you feel the water of your body being sucked from your pores. You slowly start to desiccate. Not as bad as it could have been, but it's weird for you, being made largely and having such an attunement to water, to have it forcibly extricated from you.
Oh, I don't like this, man.
And that is his turn. Yeah, that's his turn. Wait.
So I'm gonna jump over the boat, from one boat to the other.
Mm-hmm.
That's an athletics check.
Yes.
Oh, good.
You wouldn't have guidance because you would have had to cast it in combat.
Well, I got a natural 1.
Do you have any rerolls of natural ones or inspirations? Okay.
Ooh, that's a 24.
Yes, you jump across.
All right.
Land, and I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw as you enter the tentacles.
That's an 8.
You will fail. So you jump and you land across and you're like, ah! Restrained in the black squirming tentacles.
Ew.
And you take 5 points of damage.
Okay.
And you are restrained.
Yes.
So you cannot move any further.
Yes.
And your attack rolls have disadvantage.
I'm gonna toll the dead, the mage.
Smart. He's gonna make a wisdom saving throw,
Of a 15.
which is a natural 20. So he does not take damage.
Sorry, internet.
That was your action.
Rick
You
is.
still have a bonus action.
I'm going to second wind.
Ah, nice.
Nice.
Ooh, for max.
16 points.
Yes.
Sweet
That's
beards.
very
It
nice.
doesn't see. It gets overlooked. I feel.
That was great. That was.
Alright. So that is back to the top to the. Oh, this guy's dead. There's only one guy left, right?
Yes.
Okay, this guy's dead. So to the one remaining guy, and he sees Wave restrained.
Just in case. You know.
Yeah, hey, that's good.
Yeah.
Keep him out for Rick. So he's gonna walk over to restrained Wave. I'm gonna make an attack against Wave with advantage.
Well,
He still has one more. No, he hasn't hit yet. Oh no, he did. He hit Rick.
Hit Rick twice.
So he conjures up some magics, and he gets a natural 20 on the first roll. So he's gonna hit you, obviously. You are gonna take 11 points of piercing damage. Then you will take 6, 7, 12 points of necrotic damage. Then some radiant damage on top of that.
oh shit, that's the tough stuff.
Actually, that was pretty low. That was 6 plus another 12 is 18 points of radiant total. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
That's good. 20, not natural.
Alright, so you're not blinded.
Just
Oh
took
man,
half my
I could have
health.
used that. Oh well, whatever. That would have been cool.
Yeah,
But
Sean.
he
Took half my health though.
oh.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, that was his last.
That's not behind it.
Well, you don't know that, so you don't need to know that. That was his turn. Brainer, death saving throw.
I'm switching out die. I'm gonna use beard and Strix die.
One automatic failure,
Cause
which is restrained,
she's restrained.
but it's not too damaging.
15.
Alright,
it's
so
a pass.
it's one fail, one pass. And then it is Oz's turn.
Oz is going to repeat the same process of sending an owl, then shooting that guy in the face. As well, he's gonna attempt.
He's gonna try.
19 on the roll.
That's gonna hit. You're shooting the wizard?
The wizard.
Okay.
Right in the gizzard.
Let's go with you guys. Don't be shitty, please. Oh, that wasn't shitty, please. 18 plus 5. 23.
23 points?
Yep.
To the wizard?
To the wizard.
The wizard falls unconscious. And the black tentacles surrounding him dissipate.
Oz yells out, "You're welcome!" and then runs 30 feet and hides behind something else.
Thanks, man.
With a 22 stealth check.
Okay, you
I feel good about this.
So, Rick, it's your turn. You are no longer restrained by tentacles as they are gone.
I'm gonna. Oh, well, screw this. I'm gonna recklessly attack him.
Are you gonna make the sword bigger?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
I'll keep it that size. For 22.
That will hit.
Alright, now you're 4d6?
Could have been 5.
But right now you can cast Guiding Bolt. Oh, God. You didn't cast Guiding Bolt. Remember, you're Jake. If you're rolling 4d6, you gotta cast Guiding Bolt.
So confusing. 6, it's 20, or 15.
Alright, so, 16?
Yeah.
Okay. This guy's doing pretty good. Actually. The wizard came to the other side of the ship. Oh! So when the wizard dies, this guy gets some health. Okay. So he gets healed up, so that actually worked out well. And you watch that as this happens, he... Let's just check one thing, because this could be cooler. And we're all about what's cool here, internet. Let me just find the name of it. No, that's an action. So, as he does that, as his blood is spilled to the air, you watch as he conjures forth magic as a reaction to that. And as his blood is sprayed by Rick, you jumped across. So Rick, Brina, and Wave will all. I need you actually all to make. Brina fails her dexterity saving throw.
She does that.
So I need you to make a dexterity saving
11
throw.
for Wave,
Rick has advantage.
7 for Rick.
So you both fail. All you fail.
All y'all fail.
All y'all fail, and you take 9 points of acid damage as his blood impacts your skin and burns through your skin as though xenomorphic.
Oh no.
Ghost Lord Peter, testing approved. We can see your comment on YouTube. Can you hear us? How do we sound?
We're talking about quality of the microphone, not personal.
Yes, thank
Quality.
you, Sean, for clarifying.
Yeah. Because we sound great.
That is.
Rick and Wave have the same
That's
amount
Rick's
of damage
first.
taken.
Nice.
That's Rick's first attack.
Yes. So recklessly attack again. For a 17.
17 hits.
15, 24 points of damage.
24. Nice. That's a good hit. So the wounds that he seemingly healed have been reopened. That was Rick's turn. Barry. Barry's gonna punch him. Barry's might hit him. What's your attack roll, Barry? I should just get your stats off to the side because you're gonna be here for
A
the
very
time.
long time.
Oh, Pat, you're on fire tonight.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Oh, one
No, but
water.
you're fine.
That's fine. He's got a 13, so Barry misses. Then this guy's dead. Wave.
Oz is gonna yell out at this point. Brina!
healing word for my last spell slot.
Nice.
Brina. Bugger, gotta keep her alive for 8 points of healing. What did I say? This is what I didn't want to happen. And then I'm going to.
Shouldn't have brought this child on adventuring.
Stupid. I'm going to.
To be fair, when we met, she was like 15, 16 when Celine and I met to discuss her character.
And then when she got here, she was 12.
Yeah, she just continually made the character younger and younger.
I mean, she did have a good fight with Rick, so there's that.
True.
I can't ignore that.
But I'm just saying, like,
He's a little 12.
when we had, when
I think I could take her.
when I went
Me
and
too.
met her
I think so.
and had a long conversation about her character, we decided on what was happened, and then like several of those decisions went out the window immediately. Like, up within hours. So.
Yeah, it's kind of what Daner's like.
Yeah. Ah, well, interesting.
So I'm going to attack.
Yes. Who are you attacking? This guy with your flail? I
Yes,
assume?
with
Okay.
vigilance.
With vigilance. It's, yeah, okay.
And that's going to be an 18.
18 hits. You crack him with the flail.
Yes. For 14 points. Or 13 points.
13?
Yep.
Okay. That's one.
I'm going to attack again. Ooh. And that's for 13.
13 misses.
I'm going to action surge.
Nice.
And that's going to be 21.
That will hit.
That's going to be for 11 points.
Okay. And you crack him again. One last time.
Attack him one more time. That's a 28. And max damage for 16.
Nice.
Pat, my friend, how would you like to do this?
Fire!
You are. You've been rolling amazingly.
Yeah.
So vigilance, I hit once, missed once. So I'm gonna crack him once. He's gonna get hit and kind of, as my backswing, he misses. But then I'm just gonna come over the top and just
Remove, like, turtle head him, head down into his neck cavity? Alright.
yeah.
And this guy, dead.
Excellent.
Well, that was bracing. Barry. Or, sorry,
They're all dead?
Dick.
Yes.
I thought that was 2 of 3.
Oh, the third one fell in the waves.
Oh, just was gone.
It might still be there. I don't know. Dick.
Yeah.
So you want to take their ship or keep your ship? Since we got 2 ships. Tow their ship with your ship? Tow your ship with their ship. Those are all the options, I think.
I mean, their ship's faster.
It's true.
And he says, well, it's not a bad idea. He says, but, like, I have, sentimental...
Yeah, that's why I said tow your ship with their ship. So we have both ships.
We could keep the ship,
We don't know how to sail a ship.
but we could learn.
Yeah, that's actually, yeah, that's a good one. I think, wait.
Well, Ghost Lord
Pat,
Peter...
you're a genius.
Alright, you keep that going. Ghost Lord Peter, I'm glad. Welcome.
Thanks for
he's
watching.
New to D&D and checking out someone else's channel to see how it compares to the one that their GM runs. Well, hopefully you enjoy our little show. We are... man, welcome. We got so many people coming to watch live. Yeah, we are... I like to...
Turns out Jake and Celine were holding us back.
That's what it is.
This is the A-team right here.
Yep. Roll-wise, yes.
Fair.
I mean, granted, Brina was basically useless this whole fight.
Yeah, no,
She had one
she
turn.
punched that one time. Let
but
her
like,
go.
but she wasn't there and out of the fight, and the 3 of you, Pat controlling 2 of you, making decisions for Jake. Great.
We did good.
So, anyway, welcome everyone, new and old friends alike. Glad you could make it. We are, and Peter, for you who are relatively new, the games, at least the games that I run on this channel, we, obviously, I have a pretty encyclopedic knowledge of the rules of the game, but we try not to let them get too much in the way of the way the game is played, and I play a little... kind of fast and loose with certain rules and let people have a little more fun, and I try to make the game interesting and fun, and I'm sure, as these guys can all attest, challenging. I try not to make it too easy.
That fight was tough.
That was a good fight, though.
There's
all the monsters that were used in the fight were monsters from the Kobold Press Creature Codex, so that was super cool. They were, for those of you who may have the book or are curious, there was a Blood Mage. And 2 Doom Speakers. And to show you the pictures, right, so there's your Blood Mage, and there's your Doom Speaker.
Oh, okay, cool.
So the Doom Speaker is sort of like a dexterous-based evil paladin. So that was blinding smite he was using on his turns.
Oh, that's cool.
And he has pervasive unholy smite, which is he just does an extra 2d8 necrotic damage. Or if they were like certain creatures like celestials and things, he would do an extra d8. But he had Aura of the Funeral Feast, and he gained temporary hit points whenever a creature within 10 feet of him died. And the Blood Mage had a lot of really cool things, and in a battle that wasn't like this, could have probably been a lot cooler. But he has the ability to absorb impurities, so he can take poisons and diseases from other creatures and take them out of them. And then expose a fresh cut to a source of disease or poison and safely absorb the dormant affliction into its bloodstream. It can then inflict the disease or poison on another by spitting a stream of blood at the creature. So it can basically take poisons from allies or whatever for benign or whatever reasons and then apply them to other people.
Oh, wow.
It takes half damage from anything that would deal with bloods or poisons or diseases, that kind of stuff. If it ingests blood of another creature, it is stunned until the start of its next turn, but it can experience memories of that creature and kind of see where they're at. He holds so much control over the flow of blood that he heals 10 points at the start of every turn.
Oh.
And then he had, magic. He was a 5th level spellcaster. But he had an action. Claire, you okay? We'll say yes. He had an action called Blood Feast, which was a recharge and a 5/6, and he drains all life from creatures within 20 feet, 10d6 necrotic damage, and then he gains temporary hit points equal to the highest amount of damage dealt.
Oh, that's cool. Pat, can you do me a favor? Can you turn that dragon away from me? Because the light's shining in my eyes and I don't want to go to bed.
That's perfect.
Perfect. Thank you.
That's great. So anyway, that was those guys. And some of the spells they had were, they have basically their standard set of spells. And then they had, if you happen to have the Midgard campaign or the Midgard world book, they have spells that were contained in there, which he used. The only one that I used was Caustic Blood, which was the D10, the spray of acid blood. But they had other ones, like he could have, the Blood Mage could have conjured a Blood Elemental, which is a creature in the Creature Codex.
Nice.
Cool stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's that.
Alright.
And you were looking something up?
I was looking on how long it would take to be trained to get proficiency with motor vehicles.
Wow.
8 work weeks.
So 40, theoretically. Or no, yeah, if
80 days.
40-hour days. Or 8 40-hour... 8. Wow.
Take your
A
time.
work week is a 40-hour week. So 8. That's how that works. Because it's 8-hour days.
Okay.
And a work week is 5 days.
Okay, so only...
It's a work week in like the real world terminology.
Yeah.
So it's 8 40-hour weeks.
Okay. So for 10 days.
Theoretically, but you can't. There's only the thought process is there's only so much you can absorb in one 24-hour period. So like.
Yeah, but if you're doing if a week is a 10 or if a week is a 10-day, I'm still doing 8 hours a day.
Yeah, it's 5 consecutive days.
Yeah.
They don't really. It's weird that they do it in. Well, the problem is it's designed to be a system agnostic rule, even though they base everything in a setting agnostic rule, I should say.
Okay.
Even though everything is based, 5th edition core is Forgotten Realms. 10 days are not an assumption.
Okay.
So that's why they did work weeks.
Okay.
So yes, you could theoretically. A work week in the real world implies 2 days off for a weekend, but that doesn't have to be the case in the way the rules are set.
Okay. Because that was my thought. Because you need a 25 gold a work week. It's 10 work weeks, but it's reduced by 1 work week per intelligence mod. So for me, it would be 8 work weeks. So that was to your point. We could learn. I was looking up how to learn how to
Start right now.
Hmm.
And then put the ship at port and see what we do. And then if we need to go back, we just kind of wing it, and that's our training.
Hey, Dick.
Yeah.
You think you can teach me how to sell one of these for 25 gold a work week?
And he's like, yeah, I think I could probably do that. I mean, you're here and it'll help me, so that's not a bad idea.
All right.
And you guys are conversing, and you watch as the boat, the enemy ship, which again is not being kept near you by any means, so it's floating away, as you guys have been discussing, because you're just kind of chatting and kind of just floating in the water, drifting with the tides and whatnot. You watch as it slowly begins to take on water. That's floating away.
Wave, shall we?
Sure.
All right, I jump on him like a backpack, like Yoda. Let's go!
I'm gonna dive into the water,
Uh-huh.
start swimming to the other ship,
Okay.
and we're gonna start getting rid of the water on this ship.
So what? Are you bailing things?
Is it a hole in the ship, or are we gonna?
So you're going under the water to
Yeah.
inspect the base of the ship.
Yeah.
With an airboat.
Yeah. I'll control water,
Sure.
shape water
Why not?
around
Yes.
his head.
So here's the thing.
Yes.
I will allow that, but you
But
only
on
have
his head,
so you only have as much air
Yeah.
to breathe in that current.
Yeah,
bubble.
this couldn't be. This
He's
isn't
an
like.
avatar. He's not.
Yes,
taking
I was also gonna say like this isn't. Let's go fix the boat air. This is let's see what's
inspection,
wrong.
yeah. So you see, as you look, you see sort of in a couple separate spots, you see that the boat is being eaten away
Oh no.
as though burnt by acid
Oh no.
in like large splots.
Oh no.
And you guys, as you're there, you see coming down under the boat from the other side, like seemingly having gotten a breath, is the guy you lost that fell overboard. And you see him down there, and he cuts himself, and it sprays out acid and begins to eat away at the ship.
Oh.
Run away!
Yeah, we're gonna run away. Swim
Okay.
away.
And you see he like stares at you, and he like points ominously, and you guys run away.
You wanna go get him?
Yeah.
Let's go get him!
Oh, wait, no, I'm hurt.
Oh, okay. Run away!
No second wind.
I only took 6 damage that fight.
Oh, I took 46.
Alright.
And all my spells in second wind and action surge.
Your whole shebang.
Run away!
The only thing he could do is call a shield or armor to himself, but he's already got that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shit. As we're swimming away,
Yeah.
Toll the dead.
Alright, sure. And your save is what?
15.
Yeah, he takes 2d12 damage.
Oh yeah, 3 damage.
What?
2d12?
Got him!
1 and a 2.
Well, hang on, now that you're getting into this. Let's see if he has anything that'll hit you. How far away are you when you did this?
Oh, I'm in the water swimming away, max range.
So 160 feet? 120 feet?
Yeah.
Let's blood toll the dead. I just want to make sure. I don't think he has anything that can reach you. It's touch. It's memento. What's that one
Well,
called?
if we're doing that, should I do something?
60 feet. Alright, so I'm 60 feet away. But in the water.
Yeah.
As you do this, he is like impacted and he like looks at you and smiles his big, nasty, toothy smile. And you watch because you can see him, which is the important part.
Oh, shit.
He transforms
Oh.
into just like dissolves into like rotting flesh and maggots and this visage of death. And I need you both to make me charisma saving throws.
18.
Charisma, huh?
Yeah.
Nicely done.
10.
Okay, so you feel you're fine. You're like, well, that's weird. but you feel Oz momentarily go limp on your back as you are stunned
Grab him.
from this visage. And you do. You're able to get all of them. And then...
That's his action?
Yeah, well then you don't see him again. The ship continues to get lower and lower in the water. As you are running away.
Why are you looking at me? I'm unconscious.
We'll swim away.
Do you take him above the surface so that he can breathe?
Yes.
Oh, good. That's my favorite thing when I'm unconscious or stunned.
Sean,
Yes.
not you, this Sean, different Sean. I did not pre-order the PlayStation Classic. We may be meeting at Walmart again. But my point is, when I looked up the PlayStation Classic, they only had like 4 games listed. And I wasn't, like, maybe they've all been released, but I'm not
What games?
super, I don't remember, I know I think Final Fantasy 7, but Final Fantasy 7, 9, 10, and 10-2 are all coming to the Switch.
Oh!
And I can take those with me.
That's awesome.
But, like, I guess fuck 8.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Oh no, I liked it!
Yeah, it's really good. I like 8 a lot.
I didn't like 9. Fuck 9.
A lot of people love 9, but I don't know why they picked. And
10-2? Seriously?
I think they comboed like 10 and 10-2. Yeah, I know, whatever.
Whatever.
But I don't remember why. I don't remember all the games. But when I had seen the list, I mean, I'll probably get a PlayStation Classic just to have it. But like, I don't remember. I don't really remember the games that were listed. I think like I said 4 games that I think were listed, and one of them was Final Fantasy 7. So it's like, okay, sure. But like, there's a lot of really great PlayStation 1 games, but what are they going to pick? Because the ones that I want them to pick may not be the ones they pick. Like, I would love Legend of Dragoon and Chrono Cross and games like that. But, like, are they just going to make it a JRPG system? Because that's apparently the path I'm going on with this.
Fair.
But I can't really remember other PlayStation 1 games that I was, like, super into.
The only other one I remember is Hogs of War.
And Jedi Power Battles.
Jedi Power Battles was fun too.
So were you just the Jedis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was a good game.
Oh yeah.
Good game.
So it's
Really
really
tough.
hard. Yeah.
Really fucking tough.
Like I remember some other games, like there's a Dragon Ball Z side-scrolling fighter game that I had. It was like a Japanese import. And like, yeah, I think if I go out and look at my PlayStation 1 collection, it is almost entirely RPGs.
Yeah.
And Jedi Power Battles.
Yeah.
And I think Digimon World 2, because it was the first game I bought when I bought the PlayStation. It was a fighting game.
Those were fun.
Oh, yeah, I had Street Fighter Alpha 3. Because, like, that was the only good way to get Street Fighter at the time. But yeah, no, N64 Classic, whenever that is announced, that's obviously going to be, like,
Yeah.
it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Like, that's great. You're only going to have good games.
I'll be like that kid. It's 64!
Yeah. Like, I mean, yeah, I'm a huge...
I was that kid.
I believe.
So was I.
Yeah.
Well, I only had Mortal Kombat Trilogy. It was, like, the only game I had to get it when I got it on Christmas. Because that's all that my parents could rent from Blockbuster at the time. So, Mortal Kombat.
Woo.
Anyway. So, yeah, what do you
So
guys
yeah, I guess I don't know.
Back
It's
to the
done.
ship.
I don't do anything.
I think I'm gonna rest.
You guys watch as the ship slowly
Shit.
descends in the water as it goes further and further away.
Alright, let's get back on board and get the fuck out of here. So that guy doesn't try anything. Alright. When we get back on the ship, I'm gonna have Owl just keep circling on the water level, make sure that guy doesn't pop back up
Okay.
by us.
Sounds good.
And then, what do you think? We could keep going, or we could hang out here, and then when you're feeling better, search the wreckage of that ship, see if they got anything cool. But then we lose a day of...
How deep is the ocean?
I don't know. How high is the sky?
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take I'm sure we have one of those measurement tools with the rope and the weight. Drop it in the water.
Oh,
see
yeah,
how
yeah,
deep
yeah.
it goes.
It's a ways.
Yeah.
Too many ways?
Too many.
Okay, cool.
It's pretty deep.
So let's get out.
I don't want to run into a rotten great white shark.
No,
Down here by myself.
Reasonable. Yeah. Brina, you look terrible. You should go to sleep.
And she's like, okay.
Yeah, that's about right. Rick, you should also probably get some rest.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a swig of something strong. No, I'm gonna and throw myself against the deck side.
I'm gonna have to fix that later. Shit. Sorry, Dick, I can fix that later with magic. Not a big deal. Not bragging, just explaining.
And he's like, oh, thanks. No worries.
Alright, well, it looks like it's you and me, bud. Show me how to ship.
Okay, so he will teach you. You guys go about resting. He'll start teaching you about, just ins and outs, basic sailing. Just terminology really today. Like,
Cool.
this is this. This is the main mast. This is this is the jib. This is the ropes. These are
Is there a forecastle?
Sure. And don't worry about derailing the story that happens often.
You do
with
it a
us.
lot.
To the point about Turok and Quake on the N64 Classic, if you didn't know, Xbox and PS4 got Turok 1 and Turok 2 remastered, I think, came out earlier this year. So you can get both Turok 1 and Turok 2 Seeds of Evil in a remastered collection on Xbox and PlayStation, and hopefully Switch in the future.
Cool.
So, that happens for the better, and you guys are resting for 8 hours, I assume, right? So that's the plan.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys begin going through that, and that is the majority of the day today, is you learning and them prepping. Sleeping, yeah.
Alright.
So, and then I guess you guys all reconvene probably around dinner time, I guess.
That sounds about right.
I'm gonna start cooking in the kitchen.
Alright. When he pries himself off the wall, I'm gonna mending all the little holes. It's gonna take a while.
I'm gonna make a survival check. Try and catch some fish.
Okay.
Oh god. It's an 11.
You're like, oh, this is some bait fish for tomorrow.
It's not nothing.
Bait fish. Alright.
Step one.
And you guys notice that over the course of the day today, off in the distance, the clouds have gotten gray and the wind has picked up significantly.
Is that from the distance we came or where we're going?
Kind of, I guess, perpendicular.
Okay.
So you guys are going this way, the wind's sort of coming from, I guess if you're looking at the map, off of the map. And if
Okay, that makes sense.
if I go ahead up here, I can show you guys the map real quick. Right here, that's behind everything, so that won't work. So I can move it like that. Yeah, I can. Can I? Or I'm just curious if this will work.
Seems there's a storm brewing.
Yeah.
I made the crackers.
So,
Thanks, Rick.
for you guys that are curious about the map, we are way up in the north. They left Felliston, which is way up at the top of your screen, and they're heading to Brickon's Homestead, sort of around the outside edge, and the winds are coming from further north, blowing you.
So
north.
Dick, what's that about? What do we do if storm hits?
And he says, well, we'll go below deck, typically, but someone should stay above to keep an eye on things. And then we hope we can weather through it.
I like that plan.
He says the fighting mongoose, she's pretty tough, but
She's seen some stuff.
she has.
I'm gonna go below deck and make sure
Yeah.
she's okay.
Yeah, okay. So you go below, you take the, so we'll say this day passes.
Cool.
The wind is picking up though, so Dick is fighting hard to keep you on your course.
Okay.
Granted, a little bit of wind is gonna it'll push you closer to the coast, but it won't be, it's not so bad at this point that you can't course correct,
Okay.
but you're far enough, you're in the north, you're far enough away that it's not too bad where you can kind of keep things going, but
Is Barry helping him hold
yes,
the wheel?
yeah, but it is, you can see that there is an increase, like there are beads of sweat as he's, fighting to keep the wheel straight. Thank you, goes Lord Peter. I made the map myself. I'm glad you enjoy it. You guys continue on, and you go below deck for the next day, and you spend some time down there, and the ship's in relatively good condition, almost as if it hasn't seen use in a while. But you go about with some tar, and you seal all the joints to make sure everything is watertight, and things seem fine, but there's no downside to going over it all again. So you do that.
I certainly love working with joints and tar.
Yeah, not surprised. So you do that. And then the next, as you guys kind of go through the course of the next day, the wind, the clouds have come closer, and the winds are significant now. So the ropes and the rigging are battering around, and the sails are flapping in the wind pretty significantly, and you can see you can see the white caps and the waves starting to form all around you. They're no massive waves like over the railing waves at this point, but they're pretty substantial.
Okay. Bonus action, owl into a pocket dimension.
Fair.
So he doesn't blow away.
So Rick. So Dick tells you, he's like, listen, this is starting to get worse and worse. So he says, I don't know if this is going to be something we're going to be able to weather here. It may be in our best interest to try and pull in close to the shore. And if we can find a spot where it's not too bad and not too steep, and there maybe is a coastline, maybe we can try to beach ourselves on the coast and then get out, tie the ship off and weather it on shore, where we can maybe find a cave or some sort of cover, and then we'll set sail again after the storm passes.
All right, let's do it. Show me how to that.
Okay, so as you guys are going, we'll say, he's been trying for, you go through the one day where the wind starts picking up. The next day, you're sealing stuff, you're learning, everybody's doing their own thing, and the winds have picked up, and it's a much more significant battle to keep you guys going. And this is on the dawn of the third day, where it's only gotten worse, and you can see the clouds are getting closer, and you can see in the clouds off in the distance, you can see like lightning strikes to the ocean and things. So he says so he tells you that this is basically the time, and he spins the wheel, and you guys start moving in again, and he's trying to keep it not on a direct path, because the way the wind is coming, it'll push you into the coast way too quick. So he's trying to take you on a slight angle, kind of cross-cutting the waves. So you're getting aid from the wind, but he's trying to get in close so you can start to survey and see what you've got as far as maybe a good landing point.
All right.
So while I'm mending and you're... What are you doing?
Learning.
You're going to see Rick get on deck, he's going to try and take a couple leaps and bounds, and he's going to try and do a barrel roll. And he's gonna fail a lot. No, I'm just not getting it.
He's not getting it yet. Yeah, I like it.
Keep trying, Rick. You'll get there.
Keep mentioning us.
Shit. Goddamn Dick.
Alright, so that happens, and as over the course of the next maybe 8 to 10 hours, again, the winds are getting worse and worse, and you can start to feel, there is the occasional, not consistent, but the occasional wave will just brush up over the rails and just kind of wash across the deck and out the other side. But it's not consistent. Like maybe every 45 minutes or so, you'll get one big swell and it'll come over.
All right.
Every once in a while, you see wave disappear off the side of the deck, and then you see him emerge as the wave. I'm working on something too.
It's working, I think.
So you started to get, now you're getting in closer to visual range of the sides of these cliffs here. So what you can see kind of off to your left, and as you guys are sort of coming in along basically the S of the Wyvern Peaks on the map there.
Okay.
You guys are getting in there, and you can kind of see basically out past where you can see where you left Felliston, and there was the stretch of coastline before the mountains start to have. And this is basically, from what you could tell, and now that you can get a better visual on it, from what you saw from back there, where basically the docks and the end of Felliston and the nearby Frost Heave ended, the coasts were basically, if you can imagine, high mountainous but pretty sheer. Imagine the Cliffs of Insanity from Princess Bride, so just like a straight shot up, like no good way to get there. And that's kind of what you're seeing for the most part as Dick begins to straighten out the wheel a little bit to kind of get you guys to follow the coastline. So the wind isn't as bad here because you're kind of up against the coast and you've got the break wind on the other side. You're not out in open water, but it's getting worse, and you can see that it's only coming here, and it's probably within the next day or so that this will be on you.
Okay.
So he basically says that anybody that's not doing, anything essential, you can be on the deck. One, to help and maintain, make sure everything's secured. Anything we don't want to lose is battened down or brought below deck, because there are some barrels and supplies on deck. Let's bring those below deck, and if there's stuff that we think we don't really need, it might not be a bad thing to lose it.
Mm-hmm.
We get a little weight out of here so we can try to be a little more maneuverable. And then also just eyes, in case something slips past him and you see like, oh, there's a cove over there. Maybe we can just get off into like a little small cove where we can just get the ship in and just hang out there. Or if we see anything we think that's, because at this point, if you see something, you think it's probably going to be like something small. You don't see any like large swaths of like, oh, here's a nice white sand beach. We'll just park right up on there.
Since we have the break wind and it's not as bad, I'm going to summon Owl back and have him fly up ahead, look through his eyes, and see if I see anything.
Okay. You can make me a perception check. Or anybody
Could
else.
I guidance him? Since it's
The owl? You can guide the owl.
2.
16.
Perception check.
16 on the roll. I gotta double check Owl stats.
28.
Companions.
You're just gonna see Rick.
Staring off into the...
Oh, I think the Companions app got a update.
Oh?
Yeah, because now Almirage is on there.
Oh.
I don't remember it being there.
They do it like every so often. They slip stuff in, but they slip in like weird. Like if you look at things by like familiar, like Velociraptor is there as a familiar option.
No, that's not a familiar option.
No, and they did add in, I think. Let's see, is the Dilophosaurus there? Yeah, they did. They added in the DM's Guild, the DM's Adept things, which are they're eventually legal, right? So like there's dinosaurs. There's a lot of ones in there. Like I think Deinonychus is in the book, but like Dilophosaurus, I think Giganotosaurus, I think is in there.
Oh, that's super cool.
Right, Giganotosaurus, is it in there? Giant. Nope. Hadrosaur.
Troodon?
Yeah, Troodon, which is it's like a bird type one.
It's pretty good for a CR1 monster. It has pack tactics and improved critical.
Yeah, there's the
1d10 plus 2 attack. Bite attack.
You see, there's a Zeloraptor in there.
That's cool.
There's some things. I don't. It's weird because it's like there's a Utah Raptor, but they're like missing some of the other ones that were in that particular thing. Like there's a Brachiosaur. Anyway, well, like Cragcat's in there now and things like that.
Cragcat was in there before.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I used for all of Murph.
Okay. All right. So, well, there's a giant lightning eel. That's Tomb of Annihilation, I think.
Okay.
So, or let's see. There's like a Crenshaw, which I think is Volo's Guide to Monsters or Mordenkainen's. But I'm also pretty sure it's not a beast. But whatever.
Yeah.
I'll distract you. So let's keep going. So yeah, you guys. So what was the percentage?
19.
19.
28. The wave.
Yeah. All right. So the wind and the water, surprising, doesn't seem to affect Wave very much.
Oh.
As he's surveying. So
Guidance.
you guys can basically tell that at the end, you guys can see, Owl can help corroborate this, that like in another day's travel, basically, it seems like at the extent, probably another, what do we say, 20 miles is a day's travel or so.
Yeah.
It looks like the large chunk of the mountains themselves and the sheer thing starts to gradually kind of slope down to a point where there may be a spot with some nearby woods and forest and mountains on one side. You can kind of park. If you can get there and beat out the storm,
Okay.
you can kind of get yourself on shore and hopefully tie off the boat to some sturdy trees so it's not going to go anywhere, and then from there maybe find something or build something or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, you could stay in the boat, but it's probably better to get into like a cliffside or into a cave if you can help it.
Alright. I relay that information to Dick.
Okay. And you guys kind of all hear this information. So, and he nods approvingly, and this is yours, by the way. I don't know how that ended up over here.
Cool.
By my feet.
Wow. Must have dropped
Thanks.
before. And, he does seem a little nervous, though. There's a little bit of apprehension that one day's travel isn't much, but the timing of this is going to be tight.
Okay.
So you need to make it there, like...
What is there anything that we can do, Dick, to increase our odds?
Well, he says we could toss some more things overboard.
Wait, jump over.
He says lighten us up a little bit, but
I
he
was trying to
says
lighten the mood.
if anybody, and he looks at all of you and he doesn't really see it. He's like, does any
It's all
of
wet.
you have wind-based magic? Can you do things like conjure wind
I
or
can.
things to help to give us more?
I know this isn't the time, but I can. Oh, God damn it, Pat!
I've been saving that one.
This is the Stream 18. We found it.
You wouldn't have thought,
Nope.
because Pat
This
was
is it.
always flaky in the beginning,
Yeah.
and Celine was a late ad.
Yeah. This is it. We found it.
Apparently.
In the middle, guys. 10 you 2.
Oh, yeah. So what I'm thinking, next time we keep this spot, and we put Jake next to you and put Celine over there and break you guys up.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
There's been conversations with the internet. So. God damn it, Pat, my mouth was open, says the internet. So anyway, but he waits for an answer. No one has wind-based magic.
I can potentially push the boat.
And he says, like, how much?
I got a 20 strength. I got a good swim speed. I can control water. Maybe that could help.
At the very least, that's 200 pounds that the boat's not carrying. So even if he's not helping push, he's not weighing back.
And he says, I can't promise it's going to help, but if it's this bad up top, you're not going to go that deep, I imagine. But the deeper you go, the less you're going to feel it. But if you're 20 feet or so, or between 20 feet below and the surface, you're still going to feel it.
Mm-hmm.
So he says, it can't hurt, but that's your call.
I got an idea. I'm gonna try and.
Because none of you have any. You guys are adventurers, right?
Yeah.
Nobody has extra dimensional spaces.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use the bait fish that I caught from the other day, and I'm gonna try and catch something big, like a swordfish or something. It's 23.
And what's the purpose of trying to catch a specific swordfish?
So, if I can catch this thing, I can hook it, get a string.
You're gonna try to have a swordfish pull the boat?
Yeah.
Like in Donkey Kong Country 2.
Yeah. Right.
And then if I can ride it.
Like in Donkey Kong Country 2!
Like if I can get it tied to the boat and I can ride it, then I can control its direction. And maybe, just maybe.
Can you talk to fish?
No, but
okay.
working on it.
Alright. I'm just curious.
Just a thought and something I'm might as well try, because...
Because if you're a Triton, you could just do that. And be like, hey,
Yeah.
pull this boat. And it'll try.
And he says, Dick overhears this conversation. He's like, oh, fucking man, I don't know, that sounds dumb. But he says, you can try whatever you want. He says, pushing the boat, if you think you can keep up and won't get pulled away by any of the current, then that's fine. If you think you can catch a swordfish and ride it, yeah, says, I don't know, man. Whatever. So you catch it, but you don't control it.
Right.
So you just hope it's gonna let you ride it.
I'm gonna try and, when I catch it, I'm gonna try and tie it to the boat so that it can't get away. So that
And what makes it gonna swim in the direction?
That's when I come in and try and control it.
Do you have a history of controlling fish?
I mean, I've
Or
been catching
animals.
them for a while, and so I have a sort of an inkling of.
Right. He says I've gone
This is a
hunting and
stretch.
I've killed a bunch of deer, but I doesn't mean I can control them.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean you can't.
I hadn't thought of that.
Yes. I don't know. I might have read it in a book somewhere or something along the way. So I did catch it.
I'm surprised. I respect that.
Oh, Pat, your motivation is. So let's reiterate what you're trying to attempt to do in the entire ocean.
Right.
When a storm is blowing in,
Right.
you're trying to use some random bait fish that you found to catch a specific fish in the entirety.
A larger fish.
In the entirety of the ocean,
Very
you're looking
large.
for a swordfish
The
in all of the
prize.
ocean.
The prize.
The prize swordfish in all of the ocean.
Yes.
In a random spot,
Yeah.
just with
I mean, coastline, so it's probably going to be deeper waters
possibly.
because there's no sand and everything. You got the storm whipping everything up, so there's going to be a lot of things going to be coming to the surface. So bait fish come to the surface, larger fish come to the surface.
Ted, what you're forgetting
Is there
that
water?
while he is looking for this in the entire ocean, he also is the ocean.
I've heard that. He just has to look inside himself.
Inside
The
himself.
swordfish was inside him the whole time.
It was perfect. It was beautiful.
So I rolled a 23. Double check.
Yes, I understand. But what I'm trying to reiterate to you.
It's the perfect storm, really.
So I think what I would say is what you're asking for is something that is very hard or nearly impossible. Would we all be in agreement to that statement?
Yeah. Oh
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
So a very hard DC is a 25.
Oh shoot.
Nearly impossible is a 30.
Well, I got us good dinner.
So you got a pretty nice size, like deep sea tuna. Like it's a big one. It will feed the whole party for tonight and maybe lunch tomorrow.
Excellent.
So that's good. It's a big fish, and you're like, that's not the one I was after. And everybody's like, what?
I don't get it.
In the entirety of the ocean, there's one fish I was trying to get. It's not this one.
Well, a whole species of fish.
Oh, but you said the prize of the ocean.
Oh yeah.
Those are your words, not mine. Alright, so you got a tuna,
Yeah.
Delicious.
and you eat it. And Rick cooks it, I assume.
Yeah.
Or not.
I don't, yeah, or not. It's sushi.
You try to make spicy taste again.
Oh no!
I'm gonna make spicy taste.
Don't, alright. Yeah.
Roll for spicy paste.
19 on the roll, 20 with guidance.
Plus his intelligence modifier, which is
Negative.
probably a negative, but I'll just double check.
No, he's not stupid. He's normal.
Accurate.
Yeah, where is he?
12? 10?
10-ish.
10. Plus his proficiency bonus, which is a 3.
23.
Yeah, so it was Ember that brought up spicy paste, right?
It was.
So he makes a thing, and it tastes good, but you'll never know if it's spicy paste. Because the only person who ever had it to corroborate whether it is gone.
Yeah. Alright, well, this is good.
It tastes good.
Good job, Rick.
But he doesn't have cream.
Yeah, what?
So it's not spicy mayo because he doesn't have it. He also doesn't have wasabi.
No.
So he makes something.
I don't ask questions.
I use a little bit of horseradish instead of wasabi because it's more easily found.
On the ocean?
I happen to have it laying around.
Sure.
My
We'll say he had it,
back.
and that's all of it, so that Jake doesn't have it when it comes back.
All right,
He didn't
no
have it
more
before.
horseradish.
So you're out of horseradish.
Shucks.
Jake, if you're watching, you're out of horseradish.
Add a horseradish.
Sorry.
Okay, so this is the next day. And the storm is upon you now. And the sky is gray overhead. The wind is whipping up. It's blowing things about. It's even hard to just stand on the deck. Rick is able to because he can stick to it because he's got spider climb boots. So
Oh yeah.
he's like Spider-Man in this scenario. No issue of falling over. And you know the waves are crashing against the sides. Lightning is striking not immediately upon you, but in the vicinity. And you know, Dick is out there, kind of, you know, clothes are billowing in the wind, fighting with the wheel, and Barry is there assisting.
He's doing so good.
And you guys are making your way towards this area where you had mentioned that you think you saw it. And even though this is basically the storm has landed upon you, but this isn't the heaviest part of it, right? The eye where you'd have that respite of anything, but you're like on the outside edge, and the winds and things are only going to pick up as it gets closer.
Okay. I'm going to go up to Dick and in my yelling tiny voice, "So, Dick!" I'm not going to do it for the rest, but I'm doing it like that. So when we land, what do you need from us?
And he'll basically also be shouting over this, and he'll tell you that we'll need to take the rigging and rope, fasten it to the ship, and whoever's strongest that can do it, get out. And as soon as his goal is to sort of drive it up onto the beach, onto land, in as best a way as possible without tearing out the underside of the ship.
Okay.
And then as soon as they can, and he looks more to Rick and to Wave to take a rope and off the sides and just find the largest tree, rock, whatever you can find, and fasten us off there. So even if the wind picks back up or it reverses or the weather does something weird, we're at least moored to a degree that we won't lose the ship.
Sure.
Once we hit shore, are Brina and I helpful to you at all?
And he says, the only thing we'd want to potentially do is get whatever supplies off of here we will need to survive a storm.
Okay. Because my thought process is, once we land, the four of us hop off. Wave and Rick help you beach this whale.
Yes.
And Brina and I run by the cave, like we split up and look for some shelter. We're both pretty fast. So run around, look for something, some kind of area, some staging area, so then that when you guys are done, we can come back, compare notes, and pick a place to stay.
Okay. And he says, yeah, that sounds good. And
Alright,
he's just like, that sounds good.
Thanks, I'm the brains of the operation!
Alright, so where's your guys, during this whole process, where are you guys going to be? You're in the water, Wave's in the water, pushing the boat.
Yes.
Rick is...
I'm by Dick.
Okay. And what about you?
I am going to be on the other side of Rick, using him as a windscreen.
Okay.
So I don't fall.
Fair.
And Brina is gonna push the wind.
Great. Ted Cooper?
He's below deck.
Alright.
I know he can't fly, but he's got feathers, so there's a lot of wind resistance. I don't want him to accidentally fly.
He's the house cat right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gotcha.
He's the ratter.
Alright, so that is what is happening. So you guys on deck, I'm going to need you all to make me a strength saving throw.
Nah. Dicks.
Lucky.
15 for Rick.
Plus whatever.
Well, that was the plus.
Oh, that was with the pluses? Okay.
Yeah, I added stuff.
19 for us.
Wow, alright. And,
Brina punching the wind.
yeah.
Lucky point. She got a 13 on the roll.
Alright, she is proficient with strength saving throws.
Oh, okay, so that's 16.
And her strength
It's a 10.
is something. I think it's a 10. But let's just...
She's a monk, it better be a 10.
It's a 10.
Alright. So 16 for her, 19 for us.
Okay, and Dick, with the assistance of Barry, is able to make it as well. So you guys are able to weather. You're getting pretty wind beat, though.
Mm-hmm.
So after about 3 hours of sailing through this water splashing up over deck, you guys are drenched. I mean, you're already drenched, Wave. You're under the water. But...
No, it seems to roll off of me.
Oh, okay, alright. So you are all soaked through to the bone. You're cold, it's wet, it doesn't feel good. I need everybody to make Constitution saving throws with exhaustion.
At this point, Oz is going to yell out, "This is still better than that cave system!" 15 for Oz.
Rick got 7 on the roll.
And Brina's going to use her second lucky point. And a 17 on the roll, so a 20 for Brina.
So we got 13.
Yeah, Rick has a plus 4 con, but he also has his proficiency bonus, so 7.
Oh, so 14.
14? Okay, yeah. So you guys are all able to weather through this. And no one gets a point of exhaustion just from being out in this craziness.
Cool.
So the ship sails on for another 2 hours, and now it's pretty bad. And Dick is relying very heavily on Barry's input to keep the ship righted. And
that's what Rick was doing too.
Oh, Rick's helping too? That's fine. That makes it easier. Because it's the ship, and at points, you feel like you're sort of listing to a side.
I don't like that.
And Barry will run off to the other side to try to counterbalance the weight a little bit to
I'd like
reset
to
you.
also do that when I notice the ship doing that. I'll
Yeah.
try and
Yeah.
Push
so,
that side up.
Yeah, so I mean, with the combined efforts of everyone, it gets been there's times where you kind of come up and you almost feel like that sort of moment of free fall where the ship is up on the top of the waves and it crashes down. And you're okay though, I'm gonna say, just because of the way things are and the way you're setting yourself up underneath it and behind it. Would you like to make a roll?
Athletics check.
Yes, please.
15 plus 7.
Yeah, you're fine. You're able to keep yourself righted in the water and not lose track of what's going on as the ship kind of crashes back down. And honestly, you guys have been doing relatively well keeping yourself alive and on board. So as the winds have picked up or in the water, as you guys get closer to this shore towards the end of the day, I'm going to need everybody to make me another Constitution saving throw. You too, Wave, even in the water.
So Rick got a 17 on the roll. Wave got a natural 20. Rolling Mike.
17 for Oz, and Brina's going to use her last lucky point of the day to get a 9 on the roll.
Plus 3 for her Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if she has Resilient. No, she doesn't.
No.
She got a what?
12.
Okay, and you got a 17?
Yeah.
So as the ship gets closer in, and you can kind of see your planned trajectory of where you're going to land, you see, Brina, Oz, and Dick all are overcome with a wave of exhaustion.
Okay.
because at this point it's pretty hard just to stay up and survive through this. You and Rick are fine, and Barry doesn't deal with that stuff. So you guys see, so that's disadvantage on all ability checks.
Okay.
So you're taking a long rest. So you guys eventually can kind of see where you get a general idea. And Dick is shouting and pointing, and even though you guys are maybe only a couple feet away from him, it's really hard to even hear what he's saying. He's kind of gesturing emphatically off into the distance towards the shoreline. And he's going to make a roll at disadvantage. Back here. So the ship is going in wave, being under the water. You can see that the ground is coming closer and closer as the ship is getting closer and closer to the shore. So what's your plan?
Sure.
Yes.
So I'm going to get back on deck,
Okay, so you climb back up?
get the rope.
Okay.
Rick, get ready to jump out on land and tie us up.
So as you guys are getting, now you can start to make out the better features even through the wind and the whipping fog and all of this around there. And as you guys are maybe 200 feet offshore, the ship just like impacts and stops. And you feel an impact under the water as if the ship has hit something. And you stop moving. What do you do?
I want to make an investigation check to see if there's something illusory that I'm not.
Okay, sure.
+1.
Thanks. 5, 21, 22. Any illusions?
It does not seem to be any illusions.
You don't
Alright.
detect any magic.
Not beyond what you would normally detect within 30 feet around you.
All right. I'm gonna go to, I guess, where I felt the impact, like that side of the ship. To one of these to try and see if I feel anything invisible.
You do not.
Just
Okay.
guess.
And now, to I guess doubly confirm, I'm going to take
Your cards.
a
Cut over here, Brickon. Whatever the phrase is.
thing. I'm gonna take. Where's my inventory? No. I have 5 teeth with cyanide. I gotta use those more. I don't know. Something. I'm gonna take one of the ball bearings out of my bag of ball bearings and just like chuck it in that direction to see if it hits something I can't see.
Make a perception check to see if you can even see it once you lose it.
Fair. Uh, 21.
Okay. Actually, I'm going to say it's a disadvantage due to just the weather.
Yeah, it's
Right.
+4. Alright. Lucky. I can't read you. That's a dix. 15.
You don't hear anything. So, I mean, you hear things, you don't
Yeah.
hear. And then you don't see, you just kind of lose track of it after it gets its gray ball bearing in the gray sky
Yeah.
and gray water here. So you don't think, your perception and your thoughts about this, you don't think you see anything like holding or stopping this.
Also, I was at disadvantage anyway because exhaustion.
Oh, exhaustion, yeah.
Then Brina's gonna run over and say, I have an idea! Dragon breath! In that area to see if it hits anything.
It goes out in its full cone, it does not hit anything.
Alright. Well, I tried!
I'm gonna jump off the ship.
Mhm.
Rick is going to spider climb down the ship.
Okay.
I'm gonna give him a pocket of air.
Okay.
We're gonna go under the ship.
Yes.
And can we touch ground?
You cannot touch ground, but you can see a large subterranean rock formation kind of here that is kind of you're below the ship, and the bottom is maybe like 30 feet, but there's this chunk of rock that has, for whatever reason, seems to maybe cleaved off the side of the cliff and tumbled this way, or whatever reason, is sort of jutting out of this rock and hidden beneath the waves, and I guess apparently Dick didn't see it, and like the boat has kind of run up on top of it, and like kind of went over it, and then it started to drive deeper and deeper into the lower decks of the ship, so it's stopping the ship from moving, and you can see that vacuum of water being pulled into the underside of the ship as it's basically stopped.
Okay.
There. You and Rick both see this.
This is gonna be weird. Hey Rick, you think you can punch off some of that rock so that the other part of the rock stays in the hull of the hull of the ship, so that we can just temporarily get the rest of the ship to shore without destroying the ship?
Say ship.
The ship. Well, with the rock.
Yeah, Rick can give it a shot.
Athletics, strength.
Yeah, we'll say this is a strength check.
Okay, so he got a 17 on the roll.
Okay. Plus 5, so 22. And he's just basically using his fists under. This is going to be a disadvantage because he's underwater.
But if you rage beforehand, then you'd have 6 seconds of it canceling out.
So I tried it first time.
Okay.
Didn't work.
Didn't work.
17 again.
Well, that would be a straight roll.
Yeah. The 17.
Cancels out.
So
And
it's
I rolled
22.
again, so.
So even though it is resisted by the resistance of water,
Ow.
I was gonna say,
Yes,
yeah.
control
So
the water.
you,
What a tag team with Wave.
yeah. So
As a team player.
as Rick punches towards it, Wave sort of spirals the water away from his fist as it's impacting, and it impacts into the rock. And Wave, you and Rick both see a fracture in this rock. It's a big chunk, right? We're talking this thing is probably like a 15-foot diameter kind of jagged piece, but on the outside edge, at least where he impacts, it cracks.
15 on the roll.
Alright, so in the second, as he brings around the other fist to impact it, you watch as again it cracks, and that second crack is there.
11 on the roll.
At this point, the rage dissipates from him, and he hits it, but it's just not as strong as before. Oh, hang on.
Think of an insult I could say to Rick to make him rage, but it's funny because I'm talking to myself.
Oh, he punches like Oz.
Punch like Brino.
No, that's a compliment. Brandon punches like a beast.
Yeah, but he's competitive.
Fair.
You know what? Go ahead and we'll call those attack rolls with his armor. So, because his armor is adamantine, it is automatically a critical hit against objects.
Oh.
So that will deal, the first 2 attacks were raging. So go ahead and roll me 2d8. Or 4d8 total.
19.
19 just on the dice.
Yeah.
Plus another.
9.
Plus 4 for rage damage, plus 10 for strength mod.
Yeah. So where are we
Oh,
at?
yes, it's a crit.
What was the original?
19.
19 plus
19, 4 is 23, 33.
33. Alright, so he's doing damage punching with his fists. It is the adamantine nature of it is designed for breaking siege. So but the second round the rage dissipates. And then now we're back to where we were. So what do you want to do? And it seems like it was cracking it, but
Do it again.
Put the Titan blade in there. Use it as a fulcrum.
I'm gonna snap it.
The tight blade?
Yeah. It'd be terrible if Jake came back and his sword was snapped.
Alright, use the greatest sword then.
I mean, they seem to be doing decent damage, and they are crits if they hit the rock.
I'll do it again. I'll hit it again.
You gonna rage again?
Yeah.
Okay.
How many rages does he have at this point? 3?
2 or 3, yeah.
Oh, it's an automatic crit.
If it hits.
Oh.
What's the 9?
I mean, 4.
Plus, you rolled a 4 plus, what is it?
Plus 8.
8. Yeah.
Plus
8.
12.
So that's a miss.
He gets 2 attacks a turn.
Rick, really? That's a 16 on the roll.
Okay, so that will be a critical hit. That's just 2. Just 2. Just 2d8. Just roll them again.
I was going to pick the highest. 8.
I'm sure you were. 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 5 is 15. Alright. So it's still there. And the rage goes down the next turn.
Rage again.
Okay, so roll another attack.
20.
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Well, it was a natural, it was a critical hit anyway, so
Nice!
it's still, that was
still just 2.
it's still just 2.
9.
Wave, hit me!
Yeah, I mean that counts. If you continue to hit, no, you gotta hit him.
Oh.
Like you mean it, and that'll keep the rage up.
Oh, but if you do it,
He takes.
with a hand, it's 1 plus your strength mod.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
so that was the first attack. Was how much was 9 on the roll?
9.
9 plus what do we say? Plus 9 is 18. All right, so that's the first attack. Second attack.
Miss. 5 on the roll.
But yeah. So then you wave smack him across the face. You take 2 points of damage for smacking him. He takes 5 points of damage in return because of your slap across the face.
Yeah, but it's bludgeoning damage, so it's halved. to
It's
3.
true. It is true. So he takes 3 points of damage. You take 2. And then you can strike out at it again.
6.
Miss.
2 attacks.
Slap him again. Wait. 14.
Alright, that one does hit. So 2d8.
8.
8 and 9 is 17. Alright. Slap him again.
Rick, you know I love you.
Flap!
Alright, you take 2 points, he takes 3.
I did not know that.
15 on the roll.
That hits.
Another 9.
Okay.
Natural 1.
So that's a miss. Alright. So at this point he needs to go up to get new air.
Oh yeah.
So the rage goes down. Unless you're slapping him as you're swimming.
Yes, I am.
Okay. So you take 2 points, he takes 3. You guys get up to the surface.
Okay.
You get him fresh air and come back down. Slap him again.
Yep.
Another 2 to you, 3 to him.
Yep.
You guys know what's happening on deck.
No.
Natural 20.
Alright, so 2d8
6.
plus 9.
Another 15. And that's a 9.
Another 9. So another 18. Alright, at this point, as he's been cracking through this, you watch as the impacts over time as it started to chip away, and perhaps he's found like a good cleavage plane in the rock where it started to break through, and you can see it started to spider, crack out, and you can see because you're swimming around and looking that he's made it probably 95% of the way. The crack has made it about 95% of the way through to the other side. He is chipping away, like his impacts of his fists are chipping away chunks at this piece, like little pieces are breaking off here and there, but the impact has started to make its way through the rock. So I will need another, you'll have to slap him again, 2 and 3. Miss.
7.
7 plus 8?
Mm-hmm.
That hits. So the number is 15, now you know.
8.
8 and 9 is 17. So at this point, you see on the other side, as that impact hits, you see basically water push through the other side as if this has made a path for the water to go through out the other side. So it seems like the boat is still stuck here because the boat is not moving and this rock is still on there, but it looks like with an effort between the two of you, you might be able to get the ship free if you can dislodge this chunk from here. But the problem being is you don't really have any way of knowing currently whether or not this, once you push it off of this, that chunk just falls out and then the water starts going in.
Right, so what I was thinking is I'm going to shape the water to freeze it.
Oh, okay. To freeze thaw.
To-
Alright.
But then part of it is... Alright, so I don't know if I can do this or
Alright,
not.
well,
It's only a
let's talk it out.
5-foot cube. I wanted to freeze this almost to seal the ship, but then I also wanted to freeze part of the crack and then destroy, so the water expands in the crack
Yes.
and then destroy it, so there's just, it
So I
expanded
see.
and then
Okay,
there's no crack.
so you can do, so the way shape water would work is those would be individual things. So if you froze the water on the ship, granted the hole is larger than a 5 cubic feet, 15 feet. So then, yeah, that's actually right, 5, yeah. So that would be enough. So you could freeze. So basically, you'd have to do it in the order of freezing the rock, destroying the water, and then freeze it around the ship. Because if you do it in the other way, one would end when you go to do that. But what's up?
I think you might be able to have two up at once.
You have to read the card. I don't know.
You freeze the water provided that there are no creatures in it. The water unfreezes in an hour.
Okay.
Oh, you don't have the...
And then destroy up to 10 gallons of water in an open container within range. Alternatively, you destroy...
It'll be towards the bottom if you have multiple uses.
Something
up at the same time.
If you cast this spell multiple times, you can have no more than 2 of its non-instantaneous effects active at a time. So no more than 2. So that means you could have 2.
This is no more than 2 of its non-instantaneous.
Yeah. So that, like, the first one says you instantaneously move or otherwise change the flow of water.
Okay.
So 2 of the, like, you can't have 2 of those up, but the other ones aren't. That's how I'm reading it anyway.
This is really word fuckerly.
Yeah.
You can have no more than 2 of its non-instantaneous.
And one of them has the word instantaneous in its description, so I assume that's what it says.
So yeah, it sounds like you can have 2 from the sounds of it, right? No more than 2, but that means at least 2.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, yeah, I guess you can.
Alright, so I'm going to give that a go.
Okay, so you freeze the water around the ship where the hull is. Again, it is only ice against the now moving ship and a large heavy chunk of rock. You guess that the chunk that's in here probably weighs at least 200 pounds. It's here in the ship. So not only is it going to weigh the ship down, but it's also pretty heavy on just a block of ice. Like a thin sheet of ice. So how long it will stay, you don't know.
Also, when I do that, I'm going to try and swim and support the rock and that part of the ship.
Okay. And what's Rick's plan?
Have we already broken off the rock?
Well, I'm saying you basically have cleared it, and I'm asking now. So basically, you're going to freeze the rock in the ship, and then freeze the rock in between, and then destroy it to cause that gap so that you could move.
Right.
But that's mostly you doing that. What's Rick doing during this time?
He's going back up top.
Okay. So so
he's gonna tell you guys about the hole.
Oh,
In the hole.
shit.
Look at him learning from last time. Decides to tell the party before he opens the sarcophagus. This guy learning.
Yeah, man.
So you go and tell them and fill them in on what's happening.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna run down to the hole and see if there's any small sections I can start mending until we hit
boarding up,
Yeah.
maybe.
Rick?
Yeah.
Okay, he can also hold the rock from the inside.
I was thinking that too, yeah, but I didn't.
Alright, cool.
So, alright, so that's, you do that, and you can basically, Rick will say just knocks on the rock, and then Wave can feel the vibrations in the water, and then you can destroy water.
He just into the rock and just
Yeah, that
has his
works
spikes.
too.
Just
Yeah.
And he can't be pulled because of his spider climb boots.
Hmm.
So you
works out beautifully.
you hear it and you destroy, you freeze it, and you watch as the water the rock starts to separate, and then you destroy the frozen water and also a little chunk of the water around it, and then you feel the jostling of the ship coming free, and then you begin to push. And now that the wind is also at your back and this is happening, the ship starts to move on off of that. Yes, PD. The two halves playing both characters for the time being. For tonight, anyway. So the ship dislodges and you move forward. So it takes, and you're holding it. It is I'm going to need you to make 2 strength checks. And you're making mendings as best you can.
That's a 20, not natural,
Okay.
and a 21.
Okay. So yeah, you're able to, between your combined efforts on both sides of this rock, keep it lodged in place long enough for Dick to basically, and you can start to see now that the ground is getting closer. You're only 30 feet in 30 feet of water. So is your plan to stay with it and basically try to like walk along it once the ship starts to hit bottom, or what's your plan?
I guess I'm gonna climb back on board, get Rick, see if we can't carry the ship, or at least part of it, onto shore, and then tie it off.
Okay, so you're gonna try to, how so?
You said I could walk it, so...
I'm asking what you were doing, like as the ground is starting to come closer to the base of the ship, as it's taking its momentum into the sand and the beach here, are you going to stay in the water, or it sounds like you're coming back?
Yeah, I'm gonna come back on the ship.
Okay, so Rick is still holding onto this rock, and you can see that your ice is, as you come on ship and come down to see where you're starting to mend, you all can see that the ice is starting to fracture. Now that there's not, the pressure's only from one side, not on both at the same time, it's starting to crack, but you know that you can feel that the ship is gonna into the sand here, and you watch as the ship's slowing down to almost a dead stop. You watch as the cracks in the ice just give way, and the water starts and short little streams at first, the various cracks all around you in the ship, and then as more ice breaks away, it starts coming in larger torrents into this area.
I'm gonna yell to them, start pulling it on shore. That's our only shot.
Okay, so that's what you guys are gonna do. So Rick dislodges, I assume, and the two of you book it up top, tie off ropes around the rigging or around cleats on the deck that are designed for this kind of thing, and then you leap off to run on shore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I need you guys to make me athletics checks as you... Rick has also expertise in athletics, so his is a 11 to start.
17 for me. Oh gosh. Expertise, because he only got a 3.
So he's got plus 11 though.
So 14.
14. So... both take 2 points of falling damage as you impact the ground, and it momentarily. So it's not like as epic as you thought about hitting the ground, running, and just going. There's that momentary like, ugh. All right, and then you just take off running. And you guys look for the largest, kind of sturdiest trees, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta make me perception checks.
So I got a 31.
Okay, so Rick's like trying to find stuff, and you're like, that dwarfs don't know anything about trees, and you point to 2 fairly large trees, and you still have, you're at the extent of your rope pretty much. But basically, you've got a tree here and a tree here, and you can go around this one, and Rick can go around this one and kind of use them as like a fulcrum to try to pull the ship. But due to the distance they are from the shore, you're only holding about maybe a foot of rope after you get around the tree. So I need you both to make me athletic checks. And you are what?
At this point, I'm going to take one of my belts, flip it over to one of the ropes they're holding, and slide down onto the shore.
Okay.
And Brina's just going to jump off because she can reduce her fall damage.
Yeah.
And then we're going to run around and look for a cave or something.
You guys can both make me survival checks.
Alright.
And you can make athletic checks for both of you two.
Ew.
17 for me.
And remember, Ray started at plus 11.
21 for him.
Okay.
Oh yeah! Sorry. 16 for me, and a 4 on the roll for Brina. I did roll both of us with disadvantage because we have the 1 level of exhaustion.
Okay. Cool. So you guys are still searching, and it takes you. Let's see. Make me another set of checks. You guys are pulling. You can see the ropes kind of grinding the bark off of the tree as you're pulling on these.
Or 11 for me.
Okay.
18 for Rick.
Okay, so probably you guys are getting weather beat pretty hard now, and it's also getting a little worrisome because you are relatively close to trees, and the thunderstorm part of this epic storm front that's coming through is starting to make its way towards you. So there's the potential of lightning strikes, and Rick is basically a metal, pointy lightning rod. Although you are taller and also metal, so I guess there's that. But it takes you guys probably a half hour of just constant pulling and like resetting of like, all right, ready on 3, and then you go and you basically do heave the ship. And it's the fact that there's a hole and the ship is filling with water is doing no favors for the weight of the ship as you're trying to 2 people heave this thing upon shore. But after about a half an hour of doing this, you manage to get enough of the ship on shore that you can see the rock, and it kind of just tumbles out and like onto the sand. So, and now there's an open gaping hole about 15 feet in diameter in the side of the ship. Water is sloshing out, but also coming up from the shore, from the beach as well. So the lower third of the ship, kind of since you're kind of up on an angle on the shore, is basically filled with water. And while this is happening, you guys are searching for a new place to kind of find a way to secure yourself.
She is looking in the forest. I'm looking by like the cliffside to see if I can find a cave.
Okay. So you guys, you're searching around, and you find like some spots that are small little alcoves, but they're not enough to house the entirety of everybody involved. Like, oh, this could maybe hold you in like small little areas, or Rick, or maybe 2 or 3 of you, but not the whole group with provisions. And she eventually finds an area where there's a pretty decent like uprooted tree in the forest. So, and it was a pretty massive tree, and how long ago it was uprooted, you don't know. But since the tree has fallen and uprooted, it's made a divot in the ground where all of the root system was. And there is still some roots connected, so it has a little bit of cover. And it seems like, at least this quickly, this is the largest place with a degree of cover. Again, not too much cover overhead, but you're below the ground and sort of, you've got this tree as a windstop. And it's big enough that you don't think it's going to blow back over and kind of close you guys in. And, again, there is some of the root system, so maybe with some quick maneuvering and whatever things you can find or materials you have, you may be able to set up some sort of like lean-to cover to divert water. I think Rick has just canvas or something. So that may be a
Sounds
thing
like
you
him.
can, yeah, the thing you can do to provide yourself some degree of safety.
Alright.
That's the best you've got within about while they're pulling the ship on shore in that half hour, and Dick is making as much, doing as much as he can on deck to gather supplies and batten down things as best as can to prevent further damages.
Okay. Brina is gonna run back to the group and tell them about this, about the thing she found, and start trying to get supplies to try and make a makeshift lean-to. Oz is gonna keep looking for a cave or some ready-made shelter, because even if, like, you start work on that, and if we find something better, who gives a shit?
Sure. You can make me a survival check at disadvantage.
Come on, guys. My last lucky point. Oh, wait, no. Because then it would still only be a 10. I'm a 10 and a 2. Yeah, 6.
Okay, so you don't find anything. And she runs back
What'd you
and
find?
she found a large uprooted tree in the forest. So you've got that kind of this empty, the cavity where the roots were, and there are still some roots attached. So you have a little bit of overhead cover, but you're below ground level. The tree's big enough that it's not going to blow back over and crush you. And she's running back to get supplies, and she does. And over the course of the next probably hour, as the storm, and now the rain is just torrential sheets. Like it's. If you did, some of you didn't already have disadvantage, you absolutely have disadvantage. You're lightly obscured from just the amount of rain pouring, and you can hear and see the lightning strikes getting closer. But there are trees, so you have a little bit of benefit of things that are taller than you to absorb some. And you can kind of hear. And maybe about like 500 feet off, you see like one tree just get its bark shot off of it as a lightning bolt, just and the you know what's remaining of the bark is just shot free from this tree as it kind of is exploded from this lightning strike.
Yeah, I'm gonna go take the bark and put it under my shirt, under my tummy. So it starts to dry off. So we have kindling for a fire.
Okay.
Use my body, use my tummy warmth.
All right.
It's a thing. I saw it on Dual Survival. Okay.
You do have somebody who can breathe fire, but
Yeah, but what is she gonna breathe fire on if all the wood's wet?
I mean, well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
So, and you have basically managed to get all of you and Dick and some supplies with help from Barry and everybody into this. So you have a couple of crates. You are able to get some spare canvas to sort of set it up on the top of the tree off to sort of run the water off of the top of you. So that, and I mean, you can hear it, and like like you guys set it up, and like after about 10 minutes, it collapses in on you because the rain is so much. So you take enough time to basically build in kind of wooden supports into this to give it some sort of skeleton, and then you do that. But then like eventually the water starts to make its way into the hole. So then there's a little bit of time where you're taking to dig kind of a trench to drain the water away, to grade it away from where you guys are. And again, after about, let's say another hour or so of just working on this, and everybody's tired and wet, and anybody that didn't have a level of exhaustion already has one now, just because of the sheer amount of effort. So everybody's living at disadvantage on all ability checks, which does not help things. And I'm gonna need Dick, Brina, and Oz to make another Constitution saving throw. See if they get another exhaustion.
Alright, so that's a 17 for Oz. And a natural 1 for Brina.
Alright.
Should have switched those because I can reroll that 1.
So, you all, unfortunately, are hit with a second level of exhaustion, which is half speed.
Alright, well, I'm not.
And you rolled a what?
17.
I had 17.
This is a hard difficulty. You guys have been dealing with. You've been drenched and surrounded by all of this and trying to do a whole bunch of stuff all while this is happening, and you're already slightly exhausted.
You had a day.
And you've had a day, and you're not getting any drier, so like you will get rest tonight, and it will count enough as a long rest, but it is only restful in the way that the mechanic requires it to be, you don't really feel that great when you wake up the next day.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What, Pat?
Well, I don't care about being wet.
Fair.
This all rolls off of me.
Sure. But the sheer effort of doing all of the things you've done
It's exhausting.
is exhausting. Yeah.
And alright, when we once we all get settled, I'm gonna start talking about how we're gonna repair the ship when the thing's over. So Wave, you can help get the water out. That's as far as I got.
Man, Dick's like, man, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully when this all passes, the ship's still there.
Yeah, but I have faith in you guys. So Dick, how are you at ship repair?
Well, I know the basics of ship repair. I've never had a giant rock through the hull of my ship before, but I guess that's the first time for everything.
I was gonna say that Team Same Brain.
Yeah, so we'll see what we're in a forest, right? So that's a benefit.
Yeah,
There should be lumber, and if this storm's as bad as we think it is, some of this will probably already be knocked over, so it'll save us the efforts of chopping things down. But we don't really have planing equipment here to make nice planks to repair the side of a ship. So we'll see what we're able to do.
Yeah.
With what tools we have, and who knows, maybe there's I'm not really familiar with this area. I don't know how far away we are from anything. And you guys are basically like in the forest, like right around there, in that general vicinity there. So still a long trek away from Brickon's homestead if you're gonna go by foot. So he says, I'm not sure how far away we are from, maybe there's some sort of, we can find a settlement or anything in the woods, someone that might be able to provide help or tools or things that can help us out here. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
we'll figure
it
it
could
out.
be something. But it sounds like that's a pretty large hole. That's going to need some serious work to fix to get us back on track.
Yeah. We'll do it.
And he says, yeah, so you guys have supplies enough to storm-proof type foods, right? So nothing super tasty that you have,
Paste.
Yeah, basically, hardtack and gruel and that kind of stuff, and
Tuna.
and a little bit of tuna, I guess, and fresh jugs of fresh water and a little bit of alcohol. You have some candle wax and candles for making seals or waterproofing, kind of the canvas or whatever you need, or to light fires. And some of the crates that had the last jugs of water have straw and hay inside them that aren't too damp, so they make a good fire starter to set forth to build a little fire, although you do have an enclosed roof. So making it too big of a fire will asphyxiate you all, so something to think about.
Yeah.
So you guys basically sit there and are you guys, as the time rolls on and the days begin to turn to night and whatever, as this storm is coming through, are you guys doing shifts, I assume?
Yeah.
How's that working out?
I'm gonna take last shift.
Rick will take first, I'll take second.
I guess Brina will take first. Wait, let Brina take first because she's a human. And when it gets dark, she can't see.
Sounds good.
Okay, so that's the plan, and Barry will be there the whole time.
Good.
Because he doesn't need to sleep.
Yeah. And Dick's worked really hard over the last 3 days. Dick, you just sleep.
That's what he was planning to do anyway.
Dick's been
Oh, good.
So
Again, Team Same Brain.
yeah. So you guys and basically sit there and just kind of hear the rain patter against this canvas roof that you've made, and you sit there and go through shifts as you just basically are hanging out until the weather passes. And after about the storm seems to have come through the area, and there's that momentary respite where there's nothing when you've kind of reached the eye of the storm, and then it eventually picks back up again, and you're probably in this storm for at least 18 hours.
Okay.
This is a pretty big storm that you guys are in. So basically, over the course of the next day and a half or so, this stuff is officially dissipated, and you hear the the lack of rain upon your canvas roof, and you're able to make your way back out of this uprooted tree and see, not sunshine, but gray skies, but no rain, and you can kind of see off in the distance through the breaks in the canopy that the storm has headed off in a southerly direction.
Alright, let's go check on the ship.
Okay. So as you guys get up and kind of break down your stuff, you see that the ship is, it has blown out a little bit into the bay. It's still pretty much secured from where you guys tied it, but little bits of soggy rope giving a little bit of play. It is basically further back in the water, but still maybe about half of it is still on shore. But it is more like this. It's kind of more like this, as this is beginning to weigh down more with water. But it is still there, and it seems to be, for other than those little bits, relatively intact.
Alright, let's start getting this water out of there, and then pull it back on shore more and figure out how to fix this beauty.
Alright, so you guys begin to go through the efforts of extricating the water, whether through shape water, bailing, destroying, whatever the case is, to get rid of this water as fast as you can.
I'm gonna not destroy it. I'm gonna create water so that we can drink.
Okay. So after this time has passed, everybody will have gotten rid of one level of exhaustion.
Cool.
So those of you who only had one are back to normal. You guys are back to just disadvantage on ability checks. And you're able to basically get rid of maybe 80% of the water, which is enough to go back to, with the combined effort of you two and Barry and maybe some of the other people, get the ship back to kind of where it was, to be further beached on the shore, so you don't have any more water making its way in through the gaping hole in the side of the ship. So it's now back to a point where you can kind of get a better look at it from the outside here on the shore, to see kind of the true damage and figure out what you're going to need as far as replacement. So Dick tells you, and basically it's not, unfortunately, not as easy as just getting a nice big square piece of wood and tacking it over the outside. It just won't work. So you'll need to replace the boards that have been damaged here in some way, or if there was a way to magically fix this, but you know that.
Didn't we bring with us stuff to do this?
You brought like ship repair stuff for like general maintenance for a trip, not a massive hole in the side of the ship.
Okay.
Like you brought stuff like tar and pitch to seal the ship, and maybe extra rope and things of that nature. This is definitely too large. Just the size of the hole, because it's about 15-foot diameter hole as far as mending goes. What's up?
Arcana check to see if I know of a spell that would fix this. Out of game, I want to know if Fabricate would fix this.
Fabricate might fix this. Let me see here. It's got some. Fabricate, you need to have the supplies, which you do. So you convert raw materials into products of the same material. Choose raw materials that you can see within range. You can fabricate a large or smaller object contained within a 10-foot cube or 8 connected 5-foot cubes, given a sufficient quantity of material. If you're working with metal, stone, whatever, the quality of the objects made by the spell is commensurate with the quality of the raw materials. Creatures of magic or magic items can't be created or transmuted by the spell. You also can't use it to create items that ordinarily require a high degree of craftsmanship, such as jewelry, weapons, glass, or armor, unless you have proficiency with the type of artisan's tools used to craft such objects. Possibly.
Okay.
If you have that and you have somebody that kind of knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's an option you have. And you don't seem to be at any loss for raw materials here. Again, you can get to a degree of chopping trees, and you could probably strip the bark with the tools and the weapons that you have, although not designed for that work. There's at least one tree that has no bark on it because it was struck by lightning. But from there, maybe you can use the swords or the axes you have to cut them into logs, which you cut them to length, but these are not something that you're going to be able to. You need to cut these in half, and then you need to plane them into, a board, not rounded.
So we need to find help.
Of some kind.
Yeah, we need to find help.
And the way you look at it is you can't really. You're going to have to probably cut away some of the boards that's there to get you a clean edge to fasten into, because you need to attach to the ribbing inside of the ship. That's kind of where you're at. So,
Alright, so Dick.
Yeah.
We're gonna need help to fix this. Like the six of us can't do it on our own. 7 if you count Tad Cooper. So, if the 4 of us go out exploring, try and find some help, would you want to come with us so you're not alone if nefarious people show up? Or would you rather stay here with your ship in case nefarious people show up?
He says that is all. You bring up all good points.
I'm full of them. I mean, you have Barry.
Yeah, he says, I think I'll be alright if I stay here with the ship.
Okay. I'm going to leave Owl here with you. We are, connected magically, him and I. So if you want to get any message to us, just write it on a little piece of paper, put it in his little claw, and he'll come right to me.
Alright.
And if we need anything from you, summon him back to me and the reverse will happen. If he just vanishes, it's because I called him to me and you should expect a message soon. Or it's because he got attacked. Definitely one of the two.
Alright.
Alright guys, get your packs and hold on to your butts. We're going out adventuring.
So the way it looks, and he'll tell you basically what you need is, let's see.
Write down a list, give it to Rick. He's the supply guy.
Yeah, so that would be 15 feet. So that's 15 feet that way. Column. We'll just make it easy, even though it's probably not realistic. You'll need 15 boards. 15 1-foot width boards, and then they'll need to be varying ranges, but basically from 15 to 20 feet long.
Okay.
Is what you'll need to
pet. 15 to 20 feet long.
Yeah. Again, that's not ship accurate, but we'll call it that for the purposes of the game.
Yeah.
So that's what you guys need to get. Finding the lumber, again, should be easy enough to find boards that are roughly, when cut in half, down the middle, will be 12 foot in width, and then ones that are at least 15 or more, 15 to 20 feet in length. So you guys can take the time to try to secure or at least identify those trees. And then if you wanted to, you could fell them and strip the bark off of them, but it only goes so far without assistance.
Yeah, my thought is that we should find the help first so we know what we need to do, if that makes sense. Like, rather than do this work now, and maybe, let's say we find a wizard or something like that, and then we just didn't need to do it.
Fair enough.
Or we do it wrong.
Or we do it wrong, yeah.
It's wasted material.
So you guys will head off into the woods in search of help, or whatever you can find. And I think that is a pretty good spot to end the game for tonight.
All right.
So there we go.
Good game, Sean.
You too, Pat.
Team
And
Stream
you
18,
too.
I guess.
Whoop.
Yes, Peter, to Sean's point here online, he said he's on the fence. Sean, he's on the fence about dice towers.
Mm-hmm.
About whether or not to get them. And decisions. We've been talking, him and I, a little bit about the dice towers. And I had said that the Elderwood Academy dice towers previously, without the baffles, I was not a huge fan of. But Pat, this is really your first time rolling with a dice tower. What do you like it?
Yeah.
This is Pat's first time rolling with a dice tower.
Love it.
Sean does it pretty consistently.
Almost exclusively for the last like 3 years.
And again, part of the benefit. So you've been rolling with your dice tray, which is a little bit longer.
Yes.
Pat, what are your thoughts about the codex that comes, or the scroll that comes with the codex that is included?
I think this is sweet. I want to find out what it says in Draconic. It's
But
just a
as-
personal thing, but as far as rolling,
So it works obviously as its own sort of rolling receptacle.
So on its own, it's nice. You know, it's very quiet. Doesn't really affect the roll too much. It has a nice wooden knock to it. I like the tower, but as on its own, it's not bad.
And what do you think about the tower in that? 'Cause you were
Oh, I
doing that
think
too.
it's just
You like
it
that?
adds to it a lot.
Okay. You're a fan of,
the design.
but like mechanically
Material.
and
Oh, yeah.
logistically, you like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Seemed
And
to
it's
roll
also
well
super
for me.
convenient because the scroll rolls up and can fit in the dice tower
Without the
if you don't
baffles.
have the baffles in there, so it's convenient for travel.
Yeah, it's I've been talking to Quentin and Dan a little bit about if possibly we will be if the thought of decoupling the scroll and the codex from one another, because the cool feat of it is that they fit inside one another.
Yeah.
But to your point and to other people's points, the codex or the scroll, people could use that on its own as it is, and if it was larger, like it would be better in and of as its standalone product. Like if it was the size of like the width and size of what the scroll looks like, so if it fit in that bag or maybe something a little bit smaller, then it would fold out and it would be a decent standalone product. And then if you wanted to also use it with the codex with the baffles, it gives you more travel.
I really like that idea, especially since at least like when the scroll we got, Ted, can you it's behind the TV screen is the bag that the yeah. The scroll came in this very convenient carrying bag, so even if you wanted to do, the codex with the baffles and the scroll, like, it's still very convenient for travel. It rolls up really nice, and even if you made that longer, even on one side.
Yeah, so this is the, to PD, to your point, I haven't set up a chat thing for this yet. And again, for people that are confused, we're commenting to people that are on YouTube and people that are on Twitch. They can't see each other's interactions.
But we can
we can see them. So these are all from Elderwood Academy. You can see in the bottom right there, the Elderwood Academy logo. They are friends of mine for quite some time. If you follow us on YouTube and see the videos, I've done a bunch of interviews with them. They do a bunch of different products, most of which you can see here at the table. This is what I use to roll my dice in. This is a Nerd Immersion branded spell book, right? So it opens up, and on the inside it is a felt rolling tray, and this is a metal dry erase piece. We have another one, actually a couple of them looking around here. Sean's got another one. This one's got the foam insert in it.
Yeah, which is super cool.
You gotta lift the thing.
The thing was also. It's sticky only because it's brand new, so it kind of sticks in.
You can see
but you can see it's got
different foam
thing for
inserts
dice,
and things like that.
Places for minis, something for a pencil, and this is dry erase.
Yeah, and there's different inserts of foam.
Yeah.
If you were a Magic the Gathering person, you can get a wooden insert in the middle to split two decks if you wanted. But Sean, if you would be so kind as to model the deck box, this is on their Kickstarter right now. This is the Centurion deck box that they just released. And it's got a little dry erase on the back and a secret compartment in the bottom to hold dice or minis and things like that.
What's that even do?
So
not Draconic.
no, not
None of
Draconic.
the letters are
Maybe it's Infernal.
maybe.
So anyway, to the point we were talking about the scroll rolling tray here. This, if you can see, this is a leather base. I know you really can't make out the image, but Pat's got another one right there. But what happens is this, comes apart like so with magnets.
How do they work?
You can take these two and kind of put them together and just roll it up into a nice convenient spot, and then it fits inside that bag that Sean was talking about. Or if you wanted to take the baffles out of one of those Codex dice towers, it sits inside that and keeps it all together in one piece. So that's the rolling tray again. Be on the lookout. Maybe we'll see some future adjustments to that. So I will type it out in. I don't think I have a keyboard hooked up to this. I don't. No. So I will type it out in the chat for all of you. If you guys want to pick up any of these cool Elderwood Academy products, I will put a link in the chat right now that if you purchase it through this link, it's the Nerd Immersion affiliate link. So we actually get a small kickback from purchases made from that link. So it not only gets you cool products, but it also gets us a little benefit from it. So
We're gonna push this.
Elderwood Academy. I will give you guys a link right now. Let me just get our.
Does that post on when you post it on your phone? Does it do it on all?
No.
Or do
but
you
I
have to
can-
do it separately?
I can. I can make it do it on all of them, so I will have to do that. So let me get you guys the link right here. We just got it like yesterday, so I will post it on Twitch and then I'll transfer it over to you guys on YouTube here. So there is the code, and then I will just copy it. See if I can just copy that. Maybe. Oh, okay. Well, we'll just do it this way. Then we'll go to YouTube. Since we are streaming live, let's see this.
We
works.
are, aren't we?
We are.
We live.
We live.
Yeah, baby, we live.
There you go. So paste that here. Oh, paste. So now you guys hopefully should see that there. Oops, nope. I guess error. Try again. We'll try that. One last time. Oh, there we go. Maybe. Or not, apparently. Alright, hang on. We'll get it to you, YouTube, I promise. But anyway, if you purchase through that link, like I said, we get a small little piece back. So that would be very cool if you did that for us.
Quite.
So yeah, PD, the book that Celine uses is something that Sean made for her after I made something for Sean. Basically, I got one of these back when they were on Kickstarter way back in the day, which is actually this one that's right over here. This original spell book. And I basically made a replica with a thing I got. They sell like books like that. You can get false books at like Joanne Fabrics and Michael's. So I made one for Sean as a birthday present, Christmas present?
Yes, one of those.
One of those. And then Sean basically did the same thing and made one for Celine. But as expected, when you make them yourself, there's impurities and things that happen with that process, whether the magnets fail or they're too big or too small. Let's see if this posts to you, YouTube. I'm hoping. I see it posted to Twitch again. It posted to Mixer. Did it post to YouTube? No? I guess not. Why is it not? This is so annoying. Can't get it to post to YouTube. One last time here. Make sure. Can I get it? Let's just go right to post to YouTube only. See if that works. Come on. Paste. No. Well, anyway, I can tell you what the code is, but it's hard to.
Don't do it. Pat. Don't do it.
Pat.
Point that thing away.
Pat.
Don't point that dragon at me.
It will legitimately give him a migraine.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's why he's saying it. It's
I
not.
thought to actually put you to sleep.
No. Meaning like I'll get a migraine and then have to go home and go to bed immediately and have a headache for 3 days.
I don't know if that's working,
Sucks.
YouTube. Tell me if that's.
I get
That
them
link
kinda
is
frequently.
posting.
That sucks.
It's being very annoying.
I get them. They're triggered by lights shining in my eyes and lack of sleep.
Also, snore goals. Yes, the thank you. Glad you liked the table setup and the lanterns and whatnot. Yes, people seem to be big fans of the lanterns.
Yeah.
I just kind of put something in. I wish I had done still lanterns, but a different design, one that provides a little more light. Because the light in these, the bulbs are in the top and it shines down,
And most
rather
of
than
it's
other
locked.
one are contained within the glass, so that it would shine out. Give me 1 second while I just try to post it on my computer, because for whatever reason, both the YouTube app and Twitch are not letting, and my phone are letting.
Were you talking to us or the internet?
Both.
Okay. What's it like over there?
I'm in the driver's chair.
Yeah, but like feel that chair though. Right?
Oh wow.
This is nice.
It's very solid.
It is. It's solid, it's cozy, it's a good day. So Pat, how are you enjoying playing the Templar fighter?
I enjoy it.
Yeah?
Yep, I think it fits well for Wave.
Fair.
Gives him the ability to do what he needs to do.
Mm-hmm. It looks fun.
Yeah.
And I feel like the cleric spells work well with a fighter.
Yes.
I feel like if you guys haven't seen, it's very similar to the Eldritch Knight. But I feel like the cleric spells almost kind of work better for a third caster and for a fighter. Like Shield of Faith is super useful for you, and
Yeah.
Healing Word is super useful.
Keeps the party
Keeps
fighting.
the party fighting. Whereas for Eldritch Knight, I mean, like Shield and Absorb Elements are really cool, but that's kind of it. So it looks like you're having fun.
Yeah.
Looks like a fun class to play.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Can't say anything negative about it. Maybe I'd want more spells or more
Yeah.
power, higher.
Especially coming off of playing a paladin, you're used to having more spells.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a huge difference, but it's a difference.
Hmm.
So,
Did you break YouTube?
I don't think it's letting me post links.
Ted says that it doesn't seem like YouTube is letting him post links.
Which is dumb because it's my channel.
Which is dumb, because it's his channel. He should be able to do what he wants. Even if it's shirtless. I don't know why you added that shirtless bit, Ted.
I haven't seen
What?
Pat in the GM seat since the Giant series.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. It's also a giant power leveling session the whole campaign.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I'm not here. Things get out of hand very quickly.
Yeah, but we had fun. Strix was fun. All the characters were fun.
Wave has become god of the world. Epic music plays. Ghost Lord.
Oh, don't even joke about that.
Don't.
Wave
I'm already in the ocean. I mean,
Wave
the whole
cannot
world.
handle the whole world. That's a lot of responsibility.
Just a drop in it. Just a very small drop in it.
That's so deep.
No, it's just a drop deep.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Alright, let's see if this works.
Ted says, let's see if this works.
I don't know if it's these LOL. I don't know what you were talking about, Ghost Lord Peter, but I'm glad you LOL'd. Because we are LOLing inside.
Well, you can't LOL inside. Cause
No, you can.
no. The second OL stands for out loud. You can't laugh out loud inside. You're contradicting
I
yourself.
thought it was left out late.
Oh, well that explains the miscommunication. No, you are not left out. Well, could you left out late inside?
Oh, because I sat in the GM seat. Oh! No, I don't think I could.
Yeah, so neither way could you
This
LOL on the inside.
This is a wash.
What is?
Hashtag wave.
And you can't just start a hashtag for your character.
You can do!
I mean, you can, but I don't think you should.
Hey, Ghost Lord Peter, can you hashtag wave out there?
Don't do it.
Start a trend.
Don't do it. Give him a big head.
Alright, so I don't know if that's just a function of YouTube and it doesn't allow you to post links. I know Twitch you can set it up to not allow people to post links, but you can choose to do that because it's your own channel. So YouTube folks, below the screen I would refresh your page, below the screen there should be a list of links where it's like support the channel and check us out on social media. The top one should say Elderwood Academy affiliate with a link, which is basically just elderwoodacademy.com/ref equals Nerd Immersion. But
Totally.
so you see the link. So if you'd like to purchase and support Nerd Immersion, you can. They have a bunch of cool stuff. Obviously, most of the things you see here, this Elderwood Academy. So these here, these are called spell books. The dice towers are called codexes. The rolling trays are called scrolls. The deck boxes are on Kickstarter right now. So if you want to get those, again, you can order them right now. Fulfillment dates is like August or June of next year. And they come in, the one that I have is the largest size. They come in 2 smaller sizes, and you can get a D&D related insert that lets you hold minis and break stuff up that way. You can get the baffle inserts for the codexes as well, for relatively cheap. We don't happen to have a hex chest here, which is a hexagonal shaped box that comes in a variety of different designs and was actually the flagship product for Elderwood Academy, that holds a set of 7 dice. They also have hex chest minis, which are about this big, that hold smaller sets of dice, and thanks to my suggestion, have a keyring loop on them so you can attach them as a necklace or on your keychain, so you'll always have a set of emergency dice with you if necessary. Somewhere around here I have catapults. They make little catapults as well.
Yeah, they're super
that are perfectly sized to throw dice, so we have those as well.
I'm stealing cheap
Things you can get.
I didn't say anything. I wasn't gonna say anything.
And I think that pretty much covers all of their products. The only other thing they have that I didn't mention, let me see your tower for a second, is if you really want to rock your Elderwood Academy stuff out loud and in person, you can buy a leather holster that is a belt holster if you're cosplaying a wizard or your character that happens to be a spellcaster. It is a leather holster that will hang on your belt that will strap around your spell book and hold one of these right below it like this, so you could have this basically on your belt in fancy leather straps if you wanted to have them both at the same time.
That's cool.
So I guess that's also theoretically if you wanted to have a tower with the baffles and use the spell book as the tray, things you can think about. So again, not to make this just a discussion, but they are a new sponsor, so we wanted to give them some spotlight here. And you'll be seeing us using this stuff here on the channel and going forward, so wanted to say that. And for those of you who don't know or have missed out, what I usually do is immediately, this will only be for Twitch folks, so keep that in mind YouTube, but immediately after the stream ends, I immediately start rebroadcasting it on Twitch. So if you missed the beginning and you hang around, the episode will restart again and you can catch the whole episode again.
I think somebody actually...
Yeah, somebody had said that. I think Petey said you missed the beginning. So if you, once we end here, you can catch back the beginning and we'll go through that whole thing all over again. Unfortunately, as far as I know, YouTube doesn't allow rebroadcasting capabilities, but Twitch does. So I will run it again on Twitch. And then this episode should be out on YouTube before next week, and I do have to catch up and release the previous 2 episodes on YouTube. But that'll be coming soon. And hopefully, if we can make it happen, more a return of a form of a Sunday game. Something we want to do like we had done with Curse of Strahd, and we had done with Jake Game, and maybe we'll do with Return to Jake Game.
Yeah.
Or, you know, a random Sunday Evil game, or a longer trek through something else. We'll have to see.
Or the Waterdeep thing.
Dragon Heist, yeah, that's the thing.
Dragon, yeah.
Yeah, lots of things coming, so
cool.
We'll see what's going on. So we hope you guys had a great time hanging out with us for tonight. And again, there will be lots of changes coming to this room over time, and changes to the camera setup. While this works well and it's not bad, we will go back to our multiple camera setup, and that is mostly so that we don't have to worry about body blocking of whoever's in front blocking the people, unless they happen to be in a situation where they're like back out of frame or leaning. The way that white tables work is that someone's in front. Of
I mean, also, whenever I look at you, my back's to the camera.
True. So, something...
Which I do a lot since you run the game.
Fair. So, that will be... We'll have our cameras on the wall, and I will be building a big, massive... Ghost Lord Peter, testing on Twitch is a go. So, we see you over there as well. And if you follow us there... decided on chairs. Sean, can you stand up and display your chair?
Purple chair, purple chair.
The decision on the chairs was everybody. Oh, yeah, thank you. The decision is that everybody. I'll move my screen so you can see here. The decision is that everybody. Ghost Lord Peter, thank you for the follow on Twitch. Everybody's getting their own chair, and everybody decided to get their own color. So, Sean paid, so he got his purple chair. Jake paid as well, but is going to pay, and Sean is going to pay. Jake's chair is upstairs. I don't want Pat to sit in it before Jake got a chance to. So, Pat just paid me now, so his chair will be on order immediately after the stream. And Celine...
Get her chair. I got you.
Alright, Sean says he got her, so she'll get a chair. So we'll get other chairs in here in the next couple days. So we went with these nicer chairs. They're pretty comfortable. Yeah. So we'll have all of these going around the table here.
I mean, we didn't take a break, so we were sitting in them for a solid 3
hours and 6 minutes.
Yeah. My butt feels okay.
Yeah. So, and they're adjustable, so they work well with the table. Yeah. Also, a benefit of one camera though is we're all standing up, we're all still in frame.
That's true.
But the plan is, guys, to have possibly. I'm working on how things are going to set up to have more than 3 cameras. So we can maybe, if I get fancy now that I have a touchscreen monitor to mess with here, we can do multiple cameras at multiple angles. Like, start it off and we could do a camera that's just on me, or a camera that's just on this side, or just on this side, and we can flip through them. Again, in an ideal world, I have a production team that would do this for me. But I don't have that. No. So I have to do it all myself, but now I at least have a means to do so. So I can flip between scenes to zoom in on different things, and we'll have a far away cam that will capture the whole room for going on breaks and things like that. And again, like I said, this will all be shelving in the next couple of weeks, and there will be things on the wall to make the room, one, not so echoey, and two, to give it more of that cool D&D room. And you guys have donated thus far to help us trick out some cool things here. And then going forward, your donations to fill the reliquary, which will be a physical thing that I will have 3D printed and crafted here, which more information on that to come in the panels below. So, cool. Yeah, so here's the chairs. Mine's orange because it's me. Sean's is purple, Jake's is black, Pat's is blue, and Celine's will be green. So, yeah.
It'll be fun.
And if you haven't been checking out either the Tabletop Crafter Guild forum or the Dungeons and Dragons group on Facebook, or even our Facebook, I have posted a ton of pictures of the design process of this table, and I will be editing and releasing the build video where it will show me talking through the process, also time sped up to show sanding and assembly of different parts, and a written tutorial with plans and blueprints on how I built the table, and parts where you could deviate to make your table your own, however you want to do that, in the next week or so. So be on the lookout for that as well. Ted loves orange. That is a true statement.
Yeah.
Best color.
Since we were 4.
Yeah, it's probably before that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're the best Ninja Turtle too, so
All right.
Anyway,
There you
guys,
have it.
we will see you.
Thanks for stopping by. Make sure to follow us on social media. All the stuff is on the bottom of the something.
Yes, those are all statements that are true.
Yep, here to help. And we will see you right back here next week. Make sure to. Are you doing It Builds Character tomorrow?
No,
It Builds Character. Definitely come back Monday night for Ted's online stream. This Monday is Prince of the Apocalypse. It's a great show. Check it out. Thanks for stopping by.
Okay, alright guys, we'll see you next time.
Hello, Internet.